Um, yeah, I'm glad the mustard thing's taken off. I know I started calling them mustard. I think mustard lesbian's better, and it makes me kind of like, I guess it's kind of homophobic. Really, I shouldn't call them that.
I would say don't besmirch the good name of lesbians.
Even if it's just their hobby to be hateful, hate us. Why? Like, other than we might have said. I honestly, I have no evidence of anything, so I'm not going to make a case for certainty. But it does seem like they're directed by someone. Like there's, and then like I don't know. It seems like you're doing somebody's light work, is what it seems like. They're doing somebody's, kind of I don't have time for this, but I need somebody to do it.
If I was someone who had a massive following and resources and was nettled by you guys, I could see finding someone to start shit just to like keep you busy and keep the rest of the initiative busy dealing with these yahoos.
Yep.
Because anytime you're trying,
these are the same people that are now saying that I threatened to kill somebody.
Right.
You were here for that stream.
I was. You did not threaten to kill.
I will fuck your mother. I will fuck your sister. I'll fuck your father too because he wants to. All right. If I met you in real life, I would fucking remove your head for being such a bigot fucking moron. Okay.
The best carnal experience of their life.
The whole point of that is not that just that I'm going to fuck them. It's that they're going to want me to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
they're going to enjoy it.
That's the real part of the insult, there, guy.
They're going to say thank you when you're done.
Exactly.
I'll fuck you till you love me.
Emails aren't for straight folks. Dude, you're retarded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Morgan. I'm sorry, but you're retarded, dude. You're a fucking idiot. I honestly can't imagine anybody saying something more fucking stupid than that. Aside from the fact that, I'm straight too. But, I understand you're trying to call me gay as if that's some kind of bad thing. I wouldn't care. Call me gay, man. Like, it literally doesn't affect me. You're the one that thinks like that. You're the one that thinks that being gay is a bad thing because probably deep down on some level, you want a finger in your butt, you fucking retard. Yeah, they were done with him. By the way, finger in the butt, it's not a bad thing. But there you go, mustard lesbian, as I call him. And then you can have that clip for free. You can share it around. Maybe get a few clicks off of me, man. I know you need.
Hey, episode 10. Just be honest.
10.
We are in the double digits, man. This is an occasion. Quite a special occasion, if you will. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of surprising to me. The time has just flown by. But yeah. How's your week been, sir?
So far, so good. It's the beginning of it. I'm in my son's room again, and we've changed the room around.
I was gonna say, it looks a little different.
Giving it a bit of a more mature look as he's going to be 16 in another week. Actually, the end of this week.
Nice.
So very exciting shit there. I'm going to apologize in advance for any background noise because my girlfriend is working from home. That's why I'm in the bedroom, and she's in the office next door, and she's screaming at some of her clients. So if anybody hears some yelling in the background,
I can't hear it, but I gotta think that this has to be better audio than the last episode. But maybe I'm wrong.
I was doing a theme last
episode.
So. I was streaming from underwater like a starfish.
That doesn't explain my side being so bad, but yeah.
You were trying to scream through the water.
Supposedly, yeah, I was trying to, but yeah. So hopefully, I mean, we would have to be talking in the future now, but hopefully the audio is a little bit better in this one. Yeah. So I know last time you had like quite a cavalcade or a cornucopia of movies that you ended up seeing. Did you watch any interesting entertainment over this last week?
Okay, so yeah, let's see. I watched this movie last night that everybody's been talking about. It's called Talk to Me. Are you familiar with this film?
Okay, I've heard about it, but yeah, I don't know a ton about it, but there is buzz going on.
So it's the one with the hand that you like.
Mm-hmm.
The person shakes the
hand.
It
looked kind of cool.
Say, talk to me, and then
and then the ghost, or well, I guess I don't know this ghost.
Yeah, well,
whatever the other side.
They don't let on a lot in the previews of what happens, but the other thing that I feel like they don't let on is that this movie is Australian.
I did not get that from the trailer at all.
No.
So it's like, good day. Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're putting shrimp on the fucking Barbie. But it's like, you know, if you're a little tired, maybe you had a drink. You know, I don't drink, but maybe you puffed on a little doobie. It's kind of hard to keep track of what the fuck they're saying. Like there was full portions of the movie where I turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, "Fuck, they just said what the fuck they just say?" And she's like, "I have no fucking idea." She was so checked out on the movie because she couldn't understand. I'm like, "I can put subtitles on." She's like, "It's not gonna help." And
I know that you guys are kind of into like true like crime stuff and everything. Are you guys
yeah,
into like horror
yeah.
movies and stuff?
Oh,
Cool.
she's huge on the horror, as I like to call it, horror.
But still, like, just
She's
the
big horror.
Australian made it a little hard to, but, it was a little hard to follow with
Holy
the,
fucking shit!
accents.
But let me tell you,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's good. I've seen a lot of horror movies in my day. I was talking to a stranger the other day, and we were talking about horror movies and stuff. And I've seen just about every fucking movie ever made. It wasn't good, but it was something different at least. And
Cool.
but if you're the type of person who doesn't like, I guess, body horror or like severe physical damage to a body, don't fucking watch this movie. But it's got a cool twist at the end. At the end, you're like, "Oh, cool, that's a good
Huh.
idea." Um,
Hmm.
But there's something talking about true crime. There's something else that Nikki made me watch this fucking miniseries on Apple last night, and it was really fucking good. And I can't think. It's like Blackbird, Bird.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell,
I think I know the one that you're talking about. I also have not caught that one.
you can tell I'm really prepared for today's stream, by the way.
Well, I did kinda just surprise you
That's
with it.
okay. I was
Say
trying
we're
to
gonna
be
talk
ready.
about this. I just kind of enjoyed that from last week.
So it stars. I'm gonna butcher his fucking name. Taron Egerton. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I definitely know that actor, but
Yeah. So he plays the gorilla in Sing. He's
Yeah.
in it. It's based on a true story, and it's about this guy is like a serial killer / rapist of young girls, and they can't quite nail him down, and he's locked up now, but he's going to get out because they they coerced the confession out of him, and then at the same time, Jimmy, Taron Egerton's character, he's serving time for drug dealing, and they kind of talk to him, and they're like, we're gonna get you over there, and get a confession out of him, find out where the bodies are, that kind of thing, and then it's basically him trying to build a friendship with this fucking psychopath in prison, and it's fucked up, but it's like 6 episodes, and it's pretty good. It's good enough you can binge it in like maybe a night or like 2 nights, and it's a good like true crime drama. And
nice.
The thing though that gets you is the guy, the murderer guy, because there's no there's no time where you're like, did he do it? Like, he fucking did it. But like, he's so creepy, and he's got these big like mutton chops, and he's like childlike, and he talks like this with a really high pitched voice all the time. And he's like, "Yes, I did invite those girls on into my house." And it's like, oh, like you just get chills. And he's like,
wow, that adds like another element of creepy to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's big and
I guess I never think about their voices. I just see like the weird, pictures of
like,
them and everything.
Remember, like,
yeah, I could see that guy being weird, but I never thought of like their high pitched, strange voice.
Remember high pitched Eric from the Howard Stern days?
I do.
And you've seen what
that's actually kind of where I was going when you were doing that voice.
You seen what he looks like? He's not a little guy. He's a big fucking guy.
No.
Or he's dead now, I think. But still. He was a big guy. But that's how it's a big, fat, like, scary looking individual. But he's like all like childlike. And he's like, "What do you think about this situation?" And you're like, what the fuck? So it's definitely worth a watch. And if someone in chat help me out, it's going to be, I think it's Blackbird. It's on Apple TV. And I believe that it is well worth your time.
That's awesome. That one sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely going to check that one out. If you were to rate it like out of 10, like, I don't know, where would you go on that one?
I'd give it like a 7. No, a 6. Because it's like, it's good, but there's times where you're like, I don't know, that Taron Egerton kid is so fucking weird. Like, I know he's like really good looking and he's fit, but there's something strange about him. And if you watch this program, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's like, it's like somebody plucked him right out of like 1940s film. Like, he's got his pants are up high, you know, like how they used to buckle their pants like almost above the belly button. And like, he's just got this way about him where he's like, you know, he handles himself like, I don't know. It's like he's plucked right out of time from somewhere. So that's a little off-putting. But but he's
I kind of want to check that out.
He's
like,
a good
that
actor.
alone seems like it would be kept with him.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I think about weird shit when I watch TV. But yeah, I would definitely suggest watching that.
Nice. Well, I think I'm already sold on that. I'm gonna check that one out. But sorry, kind of getting back to the horror movie. I don't think I had you rated out of 10. What would you put that one out of 10?
It's a hard thing to put out of 10. Like,
for sure. Like, I don't think it's like going for, you know, the Oscars or anything like that. So I don't know. Like,
well, it depends on how you want to like think about it. Because if you're looking for something fresh and a decent new concept for a horror movie, you're gonna think it's like an 8 or a 9. If you're looking for like something you can just sit down and watch and kind of enjoy, and accents don't bother you, I don't know. Maybe people
probably with subtitles.
Yeah, maybe people watching this live in Australia. You know, a lot of people we know have accents. So maybe I sound fucked up to them, but
I'm sure we sound fucked up. At least last episode we did.
Yeah, but if you like, if you want to just kind of sit down and like relax and watch a movie, I don't know if this is your movie. Because it's just,
fair enough.
I don't know. It was good, but it's just I think it's the foreign thing. I think it's those fucking foreigners.
The way that you've kind of described it to me, other than the whole like accent thing, it kind of reminds me of that It Follows. Like, what was that, like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that? Like, it
Similar
wasn't
vibe.
a great movie, but like it was just different to me, and it was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't think about you know, horror kind of going in that direction. So I liked it for that reason. It kind of felt fresh and new. So I'm kind of thinking it might stack there for me, but I haven't seen it. So I want to.
I think
that's
that was
kind of the vibes it's given.
That was perfect. That was a perfect way to say it. That's exactly what it's like. If you've seen that movie, like, it's not fucking great, but it was like, man, it's good to see a fucking movie with a new idea, which is kind of like what I've been appreciating. And I'm not a shill for Apple TV, but it's kind of what I've appreciated about Apple TV lately. These motherfuckers, they're just trying new things, different ideas. Like, not, you know, they're getting decent name actors.
I dug like every show I saw by them. I don't know, even that one with the I forget what it's called, but yeah. Anyway, Mac from It's Always Sunny is like a game developer.
Oh yeah,
that one was decent. It wasn't like the fastest paced comedy or anything like that, but I don't know. I've dug pretty much everything I've seen from Apple, so I think they're doing good stuff. I just need to actually get a subscription.
Well, a little update from last week's reviews of the morning show, which is the show on Apple TV with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer
Aniston, Billy Crudup. I'm like,
oh yeah, Crudup. Speaking of him, I just watched a Crudup. So sorry, we'll go into that next. Yeah.
I'm episode 4, season 2, and I'm fucking bored. So I've stalled out on watching it. I'm guessing most people will stall out in the same place. It's just like they had this big. It was almost like they only thought they were going to get 1 season, and then they were like, "No, you're going to get like 3 or 4." And they're like, "Fuck, I guess we'll bring people back. Like, we'll start over." And it's like, I don't know. And plus, it's not like it's political or anything, but it all takes place during COVID, and they really like they hammer a lot of that home. So I don't know, maybe it's like triggering me. But either way, I got bored. and now once we catch up, we're at we have to wait 1 episode a week like we used to have to when we were children.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently doing that with a show. So yeah, there's 2 things that I want to talk about. But so speaking of Crudup, I finally caught one of his old flicks. So I don't know why. When I was a kid, I was just like, that has no appeal to me. Like, screw that. And then just in my head, I just always had like a negative association with it. But the Thinkers actually watched a flick together, and it was Big Fish.
Oh yeah.
What is that, like 2000 or something like that?
Sure, I know that movie very well.
Yeah, so it's Billy Crudup plays the kid. You know, it's an interesting flick. I liked it way more than I thought I would. I was already very negative primed going into that, and you know, I'm sure everyone knows it is a classic, but yeah, it was really good for being a Tim Burton. It doesn't come off too Tim Burton-y, even though it's got Helena Bonham Carter in it. But yeah, it was just it really kind of opened my eyes. so yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of classic ones that I've just missed out on and we're jerk about. But that one was really awesome. I think it was recorded, so we might be Andrew might be making a video of that.
Nice.
But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, that really actually impacted me a lot, and I've been thinking about that a lot this last weekend. And then the other show that I kind of caught, and I'm now doing it weekly, The Wheel of Time. So they're into season 2, and they're up to like episode 5 now. But I don't know. It's this amazing book series. It's 14 books and a prequel. It's just like amazing. I've loved it so much. And then they made the first season of it. So it's a really expensive show. It's not Rings of Power expensive, but it's like the next step down from Amazon. And, you know, it's just this amazing thing that's just impacted my life. And I don't think there's going to be another adaptation in my life of this. So this is like the only one that I'm getting. And I just hated the first season. There wasn't a scene of that show that was in the books except for maybe the sinking of the ferry. But even that, they did it completely different. So it's strange. It's like similar. They have like some of the events, but then they're just changing everything. And then it was done during COVID time, and they lost an actor due to the COVID thing. Like he didn't die. I don't think he would get the shots or anything like that. And he's one of the main characters and one of my favorites from the book, fan favorite. But yeah, so they lost that actor. So they had to take a bunch of his parts, give it to another actor, just another character in the book. So that just changed everything. Characters that were supposed to be one place are now another place. And then the big giant battle at the end of the season, they could only have like 5 actors on set at a time for COVID reasons. So like everything's just CG, and it's a mess. And not only that, but they changed it completely from the book. So I don't know. I wasn't sure if I'd watch season 2, but I got to be honest, I have completely turned a corner on it. I don't know if it's because I watched Cocaine Bear a couple weeks ago, and it's like, okay, it's based on a true story, and it's like, okay, I get it. Like, this is just like a dramatization of this story. Like, these characters didn't actually say this. Like, it's just the drama. I realized that's what they're doing with this story of Robert Jordan's. Like, they're not actually
based on a good story.
Time. It's exactly, it's based on a story, but they're just doing like their version of it. And I don't know, maybe I've like turned the corner on this, and I'm finally like so detached from this production of it that I'm able to just see it for what it is. But I think they've really amped it up this season. Like, I'm not saying anything is like a 10 out of a 10. It is nowhere. It can't hold a candle to the books, but I'm actually thinking like some of these episodes are like the last one and the one before that, and particularly 4 and 5 are like 7 out of 10 for me, maybe 6.5. But yeah, I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. So
nice.
That's been a change. It is not what I pictured. It's not my Wheel of Time, but yeah, I like their version of it. So perhaps that is strange, but yeah, I think I kind of owe that to that Cocaine Bear. Just the whole based on a story thing. Yeah, I think it's helping me look at this a little bit differently. I still think this is the only adaptation I'm going to get, and it's nowhere near as good as the books. But yeah, it's actually interesting. So that's been nice.
So you know what? I think the problem is nowadays, it seems like everything sucks. Like most television shows, if things are middle of the road here, it's like they're great. So I think the problem lies with us. We need to all, as a group, as a people that enjoy this kind of stuff, we need to lower our expectations. It's like, they're doing their best.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, perhaps we are expecting like Game of Thrones on everything, and I don't know. Perhaps we will get the end of Game of Thrones on everything. But
I mean,
who knows? We can get somewhere in between, and that seems to be where a lot of this stuff is. It's like, okay,
maybe this generation of like writers and directors, maybe they're going to be fucking phenomenal in like 20, 30 years because, we learn from our mistakes. So, if they can, I don't care if something like sucks when you start out, just get better. Like, you ever watch like I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I thought it was one of my favorite series of all time. You watch the first season, it's like, what the fuck?
It was a guilty pleasure of mine. Yeah, I did not. I didn't start in the first season, but I kind of went back and was like, really?
Yeah.
But I love kind of where it got to. Well, I love like peak Buffy was great.
Right. Like before it got all confused. But I do like the musical episode. I used to sing that shit everywhere.
It is once more with feeling.
Once more with feeling, like over and over. Fucking love it. But good. I'm glad that Wheel of Time is making a turn.
The wheel has turned. So there's one concept I thought we could talk about this week.
What if you had glasses that showed the world exactly as it's not, that made friends into monsters, slights into catastrophes, and your own image into a nightmare? Would you wear them? If you've ever had a bad day or felt blue, chances are you've worn mental glasses that twist reality through what are called cognitive distortions. By eradicating or reducing these unhealthy thoughts, you can dramatically change your mood and your life.
So, obviously, so cognitive distortions is the one that I wanted to talk about. So these are, kind of very childlike versions of it. But I thought I'd get a few different definitions from a few different kind of channels on this that kind of specialize in it. And there's about 10 of them that are really, really important. I figured before we kind of go through those, and we could go through those at some point, we should kind of define what a cognitive distortion is. So I grabbed a few different definitions from a few different places, and I think this is kind of a good explanation of what a cognitive distortion is.
Our mind lies to us all the time. It does it without you even realizing that things are not as they appear. These unhelpful and inaccurate thoughts are called cognitive distortions, and they happen because the mind tries to convince us that our feelings are caused by outside circumstances, when in fact, it's the way our mind interprets those circumstances that affects how we feel. It's important to be able to recognize and challenge cognitive distortions. Otherwise, they can contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression.
How would I feel like I did so poorly, but then I'd get good grades? Well, eventually I learned this is caused by something called cognitive distortions. A cognitive distortion is a type of irrational thought where you see things as a bit more negative than they really are. Now, cognitive distortions are completely normal. Everyone has them. It's just part of being human. But when they're too frequent or too intense, they can contribute to problems like depression and anxiety.
So that is definitely where I was kind of first made aware of cognitive distortions. It was when I was going through depression, and I've definitely always dealt with anxiety. But yeah, it is kind of caused by my mind. A lot of depression it is based off of kind of these cognitive distortions that we have. At least that's one of the leading thoughts on it. But I know for me, it was the case. So a cognitive distortion is an exaggerated or irrational thought pattern involved in the onset or perpetuation of psychological states such as depression or anxiety. And then cognitive distortions are thoughts that can cause individuals to perceive reality inaccurately. So there's a whole bunch of them, catastrophization. So you just make catastrophes out of everything, mountains out of molehills. That's definitely one of the things. Another one is filtering, where, you might get a whole bunch of positive comments, but you get one negative comment. That's the one that you just filter the rest out. You focus on that. Another one would be like mind reading, where you just assume that you know what the other person is thinking. Odds are you probably don't have that. You can't actually be privy to that, what they're thinking, and perhaps they weren't even thinking of you at all. They were just being, well, you can mind read. I do not have that power, sir. So yeah, we can go through some of the cognitive distortions a little bit later, but yeah, that's just something that I kind of wanted to make us aware of. I know it really helps. Once I was kind of aware of what I was doing, it really helped me see it and kind of stop that. But a lot of it's just kind of negative thoughts that kind of perpetuate and build inside your head.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think I've talked about it before, but I often refer to a gratitude list. It's one of those like really lame things that people talk about doing, but every once in a while I do a little mental one, and it's because your brain can get trained to be looking for all the negative shit all the time, and then you start perceiving everything as negative. And if you actually like if you try to list 3 things every day that you're grateful for, and you can't repeat anything on the list, like, your first day is pretty easy. I'm grateful for my loved ones, or I'm grateful for my house, and then like after a couple of days, you're like, fuck, I'm grateful for trees, I guess. And like you like, you're looking and looking, and like then all of a sudden your brain just starts picking up positive shit all the time. And you're like, that's positive. Did I think of that? And then it retrains your brain from that whole mindset. Why I'm happy all the time.
Yeah, and yeah, I know you're a peach. You're a shining bastion of positivity.
Great.
But yeah, no, that's exactly the thing. We do kind of get to this. It's just a natural thing that we do. You could win the lottery, and everything is great for that moment, but you will kind of level out.
Yeah.
You know, we do have kind of a certain equilibrium that we kind of, I don't know, settle at, so to speak. But yeah, you could have the most positive circumstances or the most negative, and given time, you'll probably somehow equal out. And you'll probably still have the same mindset.
Yeah.
So things like the gratitude list, they really do help. It can definitely help combat things like filtering, where you're just focusing on those negative things.
Yeah, and don't make
So,
my
cool.
my other piece of advice for that kind of mindset is don't make long-term decisions for your short-term issues when you're feeling that way.
For sure.
Because you know
Sure.
and I'm not talking about just the obvious of the old. I'm talking
For
about
sure.
shit like buy a car or like be dating a girl for 2 months and have her move in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like those are the kind of things that maybe
hmm
because you feel that shit will make you feel really good, and then all of a sudden you have like a $900
Yeah.
car payment and a girl living with you don't like.
But for those first 28 days, you know,
Oh, it's
it
awesome.
might be all right.
Yeah, it's fucking best
But
car.
yeah,
And,
that's the whole thing.
best thing ever.
Don't screw yourself over
No.
for short term. You know, it's always a good thing. All right. So the next thing that we wanted to get into, we were actually contacted by one of the amazing chatters and
Yeah.
creator, the Nethral King. And, you know, he had a situation that he thought he wanted to clear the air on. So he reached out to us. And I think we both agreed that, you know, this sounds like a good thing. And we'd be down to platform what he's looking to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's my
Very impressed. That
interview
is.
or my conversation with the Nethral King. All right. Hey, everybody. We're joined today by the Nethral King. He had contacted us. He was in our chat, and he kind of had an incident, I guess you'd say, with actual fandom, and it kind of affected the Fandom Initiative, as it is. And as such, you know, the Nethral King realized that, you know, perhaps it wasn't the greatest comment to make, so he reached out to us and kind of wanted to clear the air. So, yeah, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Nethral King. Would you kind of like to explain the situation?
All right, so thanks for having me, Gray. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, of course.
So to lay the groundwork, for anyone who isn't aware or like you haven't been paying attention or you're just coming in, so Organized Chaos recently did a stream in response to Rags again. Like I think it's part of their little back and forth that he wanted to reignite. So in that stream, he during that he made some comments that I thought were like, well, he always makes comments that are a little sus, but at one point
Yeah.
he tried to defend the scene from Falcon and Winter Soldier by saying that John Walker was a cold-blooded murderer, and the reason why he was doing that is because he was just trying to dunk on Rags and EFAP as per usual.
Yeah.
And he pretty much ignored what they were saying and saying like that because their whole stance was that we don't feel bad about the scene, we don't agree with the scene, what the scene is trying to do, because it was all like whole dramatics, like oh the tragedy, oh like why did he do this, like, but EFAB was all like that guy was a terrorist, and they were screaming that to his face. But as usual, Bob just chooses to ignore reality for his own little headcanon, and he kept saying, I'm sorry guys, like you guys are defending a cold-blooded murderer. So my response to that, like,
first off, that's a pretty awesome impression of Bob there. But that kind of seems to be his go-to, is to I don't know. You said like intentionally misunderstand. I'm not sure if it is intentional, but that seems to be his only move. Is when he's doing a react video, he seems to cut it and not understand like what happened before he cut it, and then when he goes to comment on it, just everything prior to that seems to be wiped away. I'm not sure if he's doing that intentionally anymore. I kind of think he might have a problem tracking information. But so, not to take that away, Romy at all. Yes, I completely agree, and I do think that is kind of what he does in those react ones, especially with the Rags one. I don't know. I know he wasted about a good 15 minutes of that video trying to understand what he actually said in the original video, and then he swore that Rags cut him out of context, so he had to go to the original one, and then still couldn't understand what he was saying. You know, he's not the greatest react content guy, but definitely he wants to take the opposite opinion of the bad person he's reacting to. And I definitely think that's what he was doing with Rags there. But I'm sorry to cut you off when you're kind of explaining the situation.
It's fine. Like, the only thing about that is, like, I don't know, like, you know, it's always better to assume stupidity over malice. But with the things that I've seen Bob do and the things he said, like, I'm not entirely convinced that stupidity is better than malice. Like, even if he is going to plead stupidity on that one, that still is like, you are that stupid that you can't even understand these sorts of things. Like, that's kind of got a problem, man. And that proves our point.
I'm not sure if one of those would be better, but yeah, kind of either way, he's getting to that same point, whether it's intentional or not. He does not seem to understand what the other person is saying, for sure.
Yeah, The argument that I made was, okay, so you're defending a terrorist who just helped murder a United States soldier. You're defending a terrorist just so you can dunk on EFAP. Now, the reason why I said that was because, I don't know if you remember on your debate with the guy, when you brought up the fact that he outright lied about Ryan Kennel, and I do feel confident saying he lied because, you know, Ryan said X. He said that Ryan doesn't want black people in this Batman movie, but Ryan actually said something completely different. Bob kept doing what, you know, something he normally does. He moves the goalpost, he changes the subject, he tries to distract from the fact that he got caught red-handed, and he kept asking that stupid question of, well, how many good white people do you need to be in a good movie before it's good, or some stupid crap like that. And one of the things he said was, well,
the pivot, as it's kind of called.
Yeah. Why are you defending Ryan Kennel? You're defending Ryan Kennel. Like, he kept trying to say, like, oh, you're defending him, even though you weren't, because you were just going after his point. So I was just like taking a page from his logic to try and expose, like, yeah, you're full of shit. Like, you know, hold a mirror up to you, sort of thing. But the problem is, like, you know, I feel like I took it a little too far with the trolling and saying that, oh yeah, you're defending terrorism, because that is a shitty thing to say. That is a shitty thing to say, because I do think that you know, terrorism is fucked up, and it was just so close to 9/11 when he did that too. That makes it even more awkward. Terrorism's fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's why
I gotta say, you know, Patrick wanted to be here as well too. I did run this by Patrick to make sure, you know, he's cool with it too, and you know, he agreed. We want to have this like a safe place for you know, people to be free to give apologies and kind of admit, you know, I might have gone too far here. I definitely would like to apologize for this, and I think that's awfully big of you. That's, you know, awesome. I don't see anyone on their side doing that for anything they kind of mislabel or miscategorize us as. So I think that's really big of you. You know, this doesn't seem super egregious. Like you said, you're kind of taking a play out of his book, but that's really big of you to realize that, you know, that's not right. Even if I'm doing what these guys do, there's a reason why, you know, I'm feeling this particular way. And I think that's really big of you to, you know, want to contact us, ask if you could come on here to kind of give them an apology for a little bit too far. I think you put it on that statement. You know, that just seems really commendable. So thanks for reaching out to us. And we're definitely glad to kind of platform this sort of action, this sort of introspection, if you will. It just seems like it's a really cool thing.
For sure. And yeah, I'm sorry that I said that. That was a stupid thing I said. But in regards to that apology, I don't want to compare myself to them or anything, like, because I just want to focus on myself, and I want to be a better person than this, because I don't normally troll people or do some stuff like that. So, you know, I don't normally do stuff like that, so I was a little inexperienced in that regard. That's why I think that's why I took it too far. Plus, it's also the fact that, you know, I never believed in the first place that he genuinely wanted to defend terrorism. It was just, you know, like I said, taking up their book. And
the good thing is it doesn't seem like they took it that way either. You know, like they were joking about it and laughing about it a lot. So I don't think you negatively impacted their psyche or anything like that. But still, that's really awesome of you to actually, like, you know, come to the realization, you know, that's not who I want to be. That does seem like it is a bit too trollish, if you will. That's awesome, man. So, you know, we can't commend you enough for reaching out to us and saying, you know, I think this was over the line. I don't think they deserve it, even them. Even if they would do this to somebody else, they don't deserve that. That's really cool, man. We really commend that.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I do want to make it aware, like, yeah, I'm apologizing for this because I feel like it was over the line. And I'm not, like, losing sleep over it's like, oh, man, I probably, like, negatively impacted Dane and Bob. Like, I know I'm sure it's the complete opposite. They're probably beside themselves because they're all like, oh, we're going to take this and we're going to use that to say that's what our detractors are saying. It's like, let them say whatever they want. Like, their behavior is public record. Like, they can live in whatever little echo chamber and go by whatever headcanon they want to make themselves feel better. But their behavior is public record. We all know what their word is worth. This is just more about, like, this is not the person I want to be. I don't want to say some pretty extreme fucked up stuff like that, and that was a bit too far. But I do also want to make it clear to anyone watching that, yes, I am apologizing because that was something I don't want to do. I don't want to be that kind of person, but that does not change my feelings about Bob and Dane. I still genuinely think that they are horrible people, and I have my reasons for thinking that. I do stand by some of the other stuff that I said in there, like calling out the whole, why did you want to rape a person's family? Because, as usual, just like you said, Greg, just like I've said on my past videos, the whole point of us making that argument is because we all know that if any of the people, Dane and Bob, Eduardo, and all these guys obsess over on a daily basis, any of them did anything like what Dane did, they would be the first in line to burn them at the stake. They would be the first
For sure.
in line.
There would be no forgiveness, and they definitely would not offer the same charity they're offering their own cohorts to, excuse these transgressions. You know that they would use that as ammo, and this would forever taint that person as whatever. Yeah, I fully agree with exactly what you're saying. And that's awesome that, you're going to hold yourself to a better standard than them. That's something that we definitely applaud, and yeah, we definitely want to support that. So thanks for reaching out to us and wanting to set the record straight, clear the air, so to speak.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy that I had this opportunity. Like I said, in hindsight, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's still not something I want to do. It's not something I want to be. It's not the kind of person I want to be.
Well, we really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to do this, and I can definitely understand. It is kind of hard to talk to that guy specifically one-on-one, but still, I think you getting the message across and saying, I have this line, I've crossed it, so I'm going to hold myself to the standard. That's better than I think any one of those guys could ever hope to do. It would be
he's a very awful person for the things he says, but even so, I can't just let his awfulness give me a pass to do shitty things, even if like this shitty thing, even if like everyone else is like, no, Nethral King, you didn't, it's no big deal. It's like, no, I have to carve a line into the stone and declare to the world, this is my line, this is my standard. I may grow, I may change, I may my morals may mature and develop over time, but this is a standard that I have to hold myself to. And that's what this was about. I want to hold myself to a better standard. And that's what motivated me to do this.
It would be nice if one day they could kind of hold up a mirror to their own actions. But yeah, that's kind of the entire goal of what we're trying to do here, is hopefully get them to hold up some sort of mirror to themselves. That's awesome that you were able to do that to yourself. That's something that we all definitely want to do. I know I've crossed the line personally many times, and it's taken quite a bit for me to apologize. That's awesome that you right away kind of contacted us and said, I think I need to set the record straight on this. So again, we really appreciate that. And everybody, check out the Nethral King's channel. We have everything in the links. Go check out his awesome work. He has a really fun last couple of videos. Definitely check those out. And we hope to be hearing from the Nethral King again real soon.
Get your shit together, Greg.
There it is. I should. Right. Well, it's that time, everyone's favorite time of the week. It's when we catch up with our actual friends. And, they've been up to a lot in this last week or so. Without further ado, let's just get started.
What could they be up to now?
Really sticking with me, like, lately, and I'm fucking sick of it.
What's
and I
that,
said it yesterday, like, pointing out hypocrisy does not negate something else.
Right.
And if you think it does, you got a fucked up.
Why would it negate anything else? I think the whole point is you're being hypocritical. Like, two things are bad. Like, say, just out of the blue, like that person that sent that horrible letter to DJ Eric, that's really bad. But, what else is really bad is threatening to kill that guy. Especially when he didn't do it for that reason. He made clear what reasons he threatened to kill this guy. It was because he came into the chat and said the word fruitcake. But I don't know. I don't think pointing out that hypocrisy is a bad thing. I think you could say, hey, Dane, two wrongs don't make a right. You guys are claiming this guy is horrible for doing that. You just did that. Why is that okay?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Perhaps I'm wrong, or I'm focused on this.
No, I mean, I was trying to follow along there for a minute, but I was distracted by this gorgeous piece of ass right here. Look at this slice of pie. Wow.
Yeah. Dane has his
if
hair
I
pulled
wasn't
back.
attached.
Oh, you mean Morgan. Excuse me.
Yeah. What a.
Yeah. They are
baby.
quite breathtaking, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that is GM Morgan, good friend, also friend of the show. If you forget Morgan, they did appear when they went through the questions that you had sent to Eric. They were one of the people who went through them, and I thought we were pretty fair to both. But I thought we were pretty fair to both Morgan and Willow. Sorry, I could not remember Willow's name for a moment.
Willow.
We assumed that they did not know the whole Willow. We assumed they did not know the whole situation behind the questions, so I think we were fair with them. But
very.
I don't think Willow is as charitable with us, but I could be wrong. But sorry, let's let
But I
him
heard
keep going
hold
on
on.
about hypocrisy.
Don't
Oh,
continue
sorry.
yet.
Yes, sir.
I heard a rumor
Okay.
that Willow's wife is actually pretty hot.
Really?
Have you heard this rumor? I like to check in on all these guys, as you know. It's like my fucking life mission in all my extra free time that I have. But no, a buddy of mine pointed out that she's actually an attractive young lady. So good for you, Willow. Slaying it, killing it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to also, as long as we're talking about people's looks, Morgan, I love your hair. It's adorable. It's an adorable hairstyle. Maybe you can give some pointers to fucking Dane on how to take care of himself and maybe look a little better.
Yeah. Perhaps there's like a conditioner or something.
It's look, it's like a little I like that. Good for you, Morgan.
It's got the little flat at the end.
Yeah, adorable.
Yeah.
Moral compass, right? Like me talking shit to a guy who sent a fucking literal racist, a homophobic screed and actual threats to curb stomp a gay man, emailed him that, and me talking shit and saying, that I'm going to have sex with his family and stuff like that, being cartoonish in my language. If you think that that's worse and you're
against
ignore
most
the
of their
other
will,
thing, you're a piece of shit.
Oh,
yeah.
So you don't think that, like,
I don't
perhaps,
know if it was...
okay. Well, nobody's ignoring what he said, but you never justified what you were saying as because he did death threats. You admitted like numerous times that you didn't know who this guy was. He was just a chatter's name, and he came in saying fruitcake. That's what we're saying is unjustified. You can't like post hoc rationalize that because this guy said threats. It's like, cool. You know what? You don't get to give death threats to somebody because they gave death threats to your friend. That's still not fine. Neither of these are fine. I don't know.
Yeah,
but if you're going to give yourself the out that yours were so cartoonish, can't you give this guy that same out? That's why both of those can't be excused. It's a very bad thing to do a death threat. Like, come on, man. Sorry, I think I kept talking over you.
No, that's okay. Like maybe I'm having a hard time with words, and so like Dane is saying that it was cartoonish to threaten. Look, it's a grape joke thing, but threaten. Yeah, I guess that's grape too, huh? Anyway, what he wanted to do to this gentleman's family against whatever situations.
Well,
and
except for the
head.
father, he was willing.
I don't remember
that qualifier willing
like
does
that.
Imply that the other ones were not. Yeah, that's true. I don't watch those cartoons, Dane.
No, I mean maybe those were the adult themed cartoons that he's into. But the other thing, and maybe you can help me with this, but like he's saying, pointing out the hypocrisy doesn't negate the other action, right? Is that what he said?
Does ignoring the hypocrisy does that negate it?
If you're pointing out that it's hypocrisy, aren't you saying the two things are alike, or am I wrong?
I think
if you're saying you're being,
if you're, yes,
you're not.
You're either
like by nature, you can't negate it if you're telling someone they're being a hypocrite about something. You're not negating the other thing. You're just saying it's just as fucking bad, right?
That's how I would look at it, and saying like, hey, that's extremely hypocritical. These are both bad things, but I don't see how I guess refusing to say that they're hypocritical is in any way denying that these two things are. I don't know. It just seems strange.
Like
I don't see exactly what his position is for. But I mean, just the overall thing. Like, okay, so death threats are bad. That's why you think what this guy did is bad. So how come what you did is okay? Because it's cartoonish. If you read the language in that guy's letter, it's horrible, but some could say it's cartoonishly horrible. Like, didn't you say, like, if you were trying to write, like, a worse letter or a more, exaggerated letter, it would be hard to do that? I think you could use that same cartoonish thing on this. It just seems like a bad excuse. But I think that's all he's got when he's literally tried to, play down this threat of grape and murder. But
he also talks a lot of
fucking those words.
He also talks a lot of nonsense when he's fucking backed into a corner. He just starts saying shit. Like, like pointing out hypocrisy doesn't.
Apparently he's so good at
what happened? It's like, what are you fucking talking? Yeah, no shit. Like,
no, but like,
don't stop
neither
telling
does
you,
just
stop telling
denying
people you're
it.
gonna
Like,
kill them out of anger.
yeah, that still happened as well, man. Like, it's wrong, and so is what Nathaniel said. They're both wrong. I don't know.
It's fact. Sorry. Anyway, so
Oh, it's a
Don't
fact.
repeat
Well, I'm
stuff,
sorry. He's
Artie, if
just
you don't know for
disputed it all.
sure that it's fact, man. That's one thing that we don't.
Guess we're done here.
Really
Pack it
fans
in.
of around this channel. It's probably why it hasn't grown a lot. Is I don't like when people just repeat narratives that they just saw someone say and it makes them feel like it's true, so they say it too. And, like, I just don't like those kinds of things.
If you're gonna look up a source, I'm just gonna throw this into the gas. You're gonna get either
throw wherever you want, baby.
Bounding into Comics or We Got This Covered. And
I don't want to assume that, because Artie did say something earlier that it makes me think he's not.
Sure, but if you're just looking up for, like, you know, you're just firing a blind Google.
He's not a. You know, I don't think Artie's a chud. I think that's the kind of narrative, honestly, that that a lot of people probably glommed onto. With
you one of us, Artie?
Yeah. Right. Speaking of context, so someone made a whole reaction video to when we answered those questions with Willow.
Yeah.
Did I hear that on Thursday?
That's
Who
right.
Could that have been? Huh? Who made a reaction video to that? Yeah, that was us.
Who made a hilarious
friend of the show,
video
Morgan? You've been on our show before, but hey, if you ever actually do want to come on, you're welcome, friend of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did cover those questions that were sent privately in DM to Eric for a conversation with him that he required questions before to be approved by him. He approved them and then strung Patrick along, saying that he would actually have that conversation. And yet he then gave those questions to Dane so that you and Willow could then mock them on a live stream and say how bad faith they were. But I'm sure you're going to be super charitable to us. Again. Oh, and I guess we should point out the fact that there was one that was somewhat duplicated. It was slightly worded differently, but you assume. So you are the ones who came up with the questions. You ran them by me and said, do these seem good? So I okayed them. But yeah, you did think that, some of these they would say no to. So you figured, you'd get a couple of them through. So there was one that was somewhat doubled up, kind of similar ground as another one, but might be worded a little bit easier. So I'm sure they're not going to mock any of that. I'm sure it's just going to be fine. And they're just going to, accurately describe what happened with those questions. But yeah, we did respond to that, Morgan. We thought that you guys actually going through those questions in that way is the definition of bad faith. And we thought that we should, respond to that and say what we meant by those and how we would have answered those questions. We would love it if anybody else would like to answer those questions. We'd like to have a conversation with them.
Yeah,
but,
remind me, what were the questions about again?
Yeah,
they were
trying to get understanding between, because they kept calling us, bigots of some kind, and perhaps we just don't understand. Eric kept making accusations that people don't think that he should exist because he's gay. And we were just trying to say that is not what we think at all. But we did have some questions. Perhaps we could come to some understanding. Yeah. And it was instigated by him asking, for some sort of good faith effort of providing questions to him ahead of time. So we did. I don't know. It just seems so, I don't know. I can't think of another word other than bad faith, the way that these guys came in and attacked those questions that were sent in a good way in DMs to Eric. But, what can I say? These guys don't have principles.
No.
What absolute losers.
Well, so they are.
Well,
really
I mean, they do have us
still hung
there.
up on
We're
that.
losers.
They are very, very hung up on it.
And only finding out now for the first time.
And neither is DJ. I kind of feel bad that I guess I
not too hung up on it.
DJ.
We're not too hung up on it. We just think that, when DJ Eric keeps calling people cowards because they wouldn't say shit to his face, it kind of brings up that whole time where, he kept going behind your back. He took the DM questions that you sent to him. And, he did that behind our back, but he wouldn't say anything to either of our faces.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think he has any room to call anyone a coward. I'm not hung up on the thing. I just think, he's got some balls trying to call anybody else a coward. So that's the only time that I've mentioned and then just in the past after we kind of went over it.
Then just doubling down on the fucking lies repeatedly, trying to make a jerk off out of me. Right from the beginning, he was like, oh, I don't want to air Patrick's dirty laundry. And it's like, what? I don't have any fucking dirty laundry, man. I was completely straight with you, no pun intended. We set this whole thing up to have these nice questions and try to get a little better understanding, because I just saw a bunch of people talking past each other. And just the guy just doubles down on lying over and over and over. And it's like, motherfucker, how do you think we're not going to call you out on this shit every time? And then, Morgan,
and that's what we had to do with the last episode
themselves in the ring.
Yeah, and we had to
Ding, ding,
call out Eric
motherfucker.
last time again because he was trying to say that he actually like apologized to you and took
Oh, yeah.
accountability for you know,
I was
leaking
completely
those
accountable.
questions today, and it's like, oh fuck you, you lying two-faced
Yeah.
bitch. Okay, so he not only refused to say sorry, he said like, I acknowledge you feel that way. It's like that is one step below saying, I'm so sorry you feel that way. At least that you're
Yeah.
saying sorry, but it's still like, okay, yeah, you feel, bitch.
It's more
Good.
like, yeah, too
I
bad.
don't know. Nobody is going to be happy when you tell them that. Like, nobody is actually going to say, like, oh, okay, this person's reasonable, understanding. They get me. They understand that I feel. No, like it's really shitty. If he's going to acknowledge your feelings, there's much better ways of doing
Yeah.
that. But again, it's the fact that he says he took accountability and he apologized. He did neither
Just
of those
say,
two
yeah,
things.
just say you're
He is
sorry.
just yeah.
No big deal.
But I don't know. Apparently, he didn't know that Dane was going to link it, and he never
Yeah.
watched it, so he didn't know anything. Okay,
Oh, sure.
right. You have zero culpability in this, but yeah, all those statements do the opposite of taking accountability for this. You are a liar and a coward.
Yeah.
So you know, after this, I don't think we'll need to talk about the questions again, but let's see how
Yeah.
Morgan describes this thing that they're just now aware of.
Losers.
You know, they frame it as DJ went and gave the. It's like, no, I asked.
Right.
Because DJ was saying, I'm not.
Oh, well,
you know,
that makes a
DJ
difference.
recognized immediately. That's what they think is that if I hadn't used those
No, he didn't.
questions, they could have got.
Well, you see, usually Dane doesn't ask. You know, consent generally isn't the thing that he's after. So this, you know, it sticks in his mind because he asked for the questions. So
yeah, he took
you know,
the questions because he liked it.
it's a little different than the usual situation. Exactly. And some of the questions, one of them liked it. Okay.
They
Other than
want
that,
it.
none of them liked it. They weren't.
No,
they didn't go willingly.
DJ to talk to them about it. It's like he wasn't going to.
No.
He just wasn't because he could see right through
He
that.
was.
He's not an idiot like they think. Apparently think everybody is.
Really is an idiot.
Well, it's that classic
beg to
fascism
differ.
where the whatever your enemy is both incredibly weak and
Oh, okay. We're fascists now. So apparently it's that fascist thing where our enemy is super weak but also super strong. It's like, no, you guys are all weak as hell. You guys are
No.
not strong. You're just liars. And we keep having to fucking set the record straight.
Yeah.
But no, at no point have we said you're strong. You guys are weak as fuck physically, mentally, verbally, and through your content.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. No,
Very
you're not
weak
strong.
chins.
None of you.
super devious at the same time, right? They're both the strongest thing in the world and the weakest.
Dane had to grow his chin.
You're not
to
strong.
get back to actually my defining.
All right, I do kind of I have some jealousy that they can grow more facial hair than me. It would be nice to kind of hide the double chin or whatever, but
Dane,
I don't know. I just
Dane
couldn't
grew
go with the
himself a
neck
pubic
beard,
hair
and,
chin.
that's what I'm saying. Like I would rather have the clean shaven. You can see a little bit of my extra chin. If
I got a little something
pube
growing
beard.
today.
Yeah,
I got my gray
jealous.
bush.
Mine's patchy, and unfortunately, it might even be worse than Dane's. But if I had Dane's level, I would still shave that shit off.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
How you gonna go to work like that? Yeah, Morgan does get it, I bet.
Oh, he doesn't work.
But yeah, it's and now part of that is that they're these are the same people that are now saying that I threatened to kill somebody.
Right.
You were here for that.
I was. You did.
It's just us saying it. It's not the entire. Anybody who's ever listened to that wouldn't say that. You're right. It's just us. We're the only ones saying you made a death threat there. You're right.
You were here, right?
What's his
Just
name?
us?
Rippaverse Goalpost hasn't gotten thousands of views off of that. Nethral King hasn't gotten views off of that. Everybody who heard you and was like, "Whoa, that's over the line." Really, none of those people exist. It's just us.
No, he privated
Give us a lot of credit,
it doesn't exist.
It's not all about us. Oh yeah, you're right. Because again, he's not a coward. And he totally thinks that it's not. Against the rules or terms of service or anything like that. So of course he's privated it. Because he has every bit of confidence in backing that. So he's not a coward. Totally.
Not
He's brave.
threatened to kill.
I will fuck your mother. I will fuck your sister. I'll fuck your father too because he wants to. All right. If I met you in real life, I would fucking remove your head for being such a bigot fucking moron.
You were very worked up and right.
Yeah, that didn't sound like threats to me at all. So Morgan's right. He was worked up there, but those were totally not threats at all. And the fact that he put that qualifier again of because he wants it for your father, that doesn't imply that the others didn't want it at all. Like that's not a grape threat at all. That's totally not how words work, right? Like,
I mean,
and that was just so over the top that nobody could believe that.
They were sort of like threats, but they were like, you know, not scary at all or intimidating in the least because it's coming from Dane.
No, I don't think they were threatening, but I think, you know, textbook, they're threats, but I don't think they were threats.
If you wrote it down,
too threatened by it. I mean, you know, it's Dane.
Like perhaps perhaps legally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can say that to like say like
that's all I'm trying to say. No, I think he should totally say that to the next police officer. He is totally in the right. He is justified. He can prove to us that, you know, it's perfectly fine to say if he just says that to a police officer. Let's see.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's going to explain how, or sorry, I guess this is Morgan now, how this is not a threat and there's no real threat involved in any of this. Oh, okay. It's just, you know, playful banter.
So, because dude was...
It was a bit performative as well, but like...
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the stream yesterday, but
I caught parts of it. I was working, so you know.
Did you catch that there was previous stuff about that person?
That he had sent things to Eric that were threatening.
We caught that you found after the fact that yes, this dude did actually threaten Eric. You know, two wrongs don't justify right. It's
and fuck that guy.
It's really strange. You know, you can't justify your bad action while saying this action that this guy did is bad, but it's cool when I did it because he did it. Like, no, that's not how that works. If the action is bad, it doesn't matter if it's you or him. They should both be called out. I can't see your logic. You know, police aren't sent out to, you know, threaten to rape somebody. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's not justice for somebody to be graped after they grape somebody. It's not, you know, justice for the courts to threaten somebody because they were threatened. I mean, I guess you could interpret, you know, possible punishment as a threat, but they're still not threatening to remove your head or, you know, make love to your family, possibly against most of their will. That doesn't seem to be how the courts, you know, define justice. But okay, let's keep going, Dane. I'm sure this is all fine because this guy threatened Eric at some point in the past. Again, months ago, and you didn't remember it. But I'm sure you're fine in this.
No, but I get it.
Did you see the email? Well, the reason I'm going so hard on him is because he started off, he's in DJ's chat, and he called him a fruitcake. That was his first thing that he said. So that's the reason I'm just like, no mercy on this piece of shit.
So this was the night of his actual justification for
no mercy. DJ a fruitcake. And the reason that I fucking let myself go off like that is because I know DJ won't, because DJ is fucking classy and like.
What are you talking about? DJ never shuts the fuck up about fighting with people over that shit.
Yeah, I just I choose to let myself
and he is not
go
classy.
After that kind of shit a little bit more, you know, aggressively. I'm having a really good day, actually.
You can fuck that guy in particular, because that guy was quite the shitbird.
So this was the next day.
I mean, when you show up and your introductory line is debate me, fruitcake.
Right. Like, I'm sorry, no, go fuck yourself.
You've you know, you've kind of just told me exactly who you are in 3 words. Did you see the email? It's fucking atrocious, man.
So, in any of those, he didn't actually bring up that email. He didn't know about it. The way that this video just played, he just now in this video with Morgan said, did you see the email? It's atrocious. But he was not referring to the email at all in the past.
Right.
This is a new thing. He was not aware of the email. He is just, you know, kind of post hoc, again, adding this to it to justify his actions. But again, the day of and the day after, he in no way referenced that. He said it's just because of the, you know, fruitcake line.
Yeah, no, he that was total bullshit. Like, you know, let me just rewrite history so I don't sound like a total fucking psychopath. But I'm so distracted. Can we fucking pause? Because Jesus Christ, this girl's so beautiful. I mean, they is just.
I know.
I can't take my eyes off of they.
I heard you guys comment on
they just too good to be true. Can't they say hi off of they?
It's the kind of thing that like,
they have better glasses games than
exist, but I'm glad to see that type. I need to see that type.
The glasses game is on point.
It's like I get a lot of shit. I get a lot of hate. Whatever rolls off my back. The kind of hate that queer people get is not something I get. Really, you know, like when you know, they may call me gay or something like that. But it's like, well, okay, I'm not. But if I was, whatever. Like I don't care.
Dane's definitely not.
Why do they think email is?
Oh, so you don't care if somebody calls you gay, huh? But would Eric care? Like, wouldn't he start calling people homophobic and stuff if they called anyone gay? And isn't that kind of what you do every time somebody says that to you? That's weird. Huh? Because I don't feel like you call it out when it's your group doing that. You know, like when, you know, Ed started calling us gay when you made all those comments about how we must have been like running romantically on a beach. Huh.
Yeah,
So none of
and
that's
you're a
homophobia,
lesbian.
but it rolls off your back when it happens to you. Yeah, I think we might have a few clips of him calling me a lesbian coming up, but there's at least
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 that we
And
don't have in this video. So it does seem to be a pattern of homophobia from this guy. Huh. I wonder what DJ Eric thinks about that.
and
Seeing as
you
how
know,
that's his entire personality.
we know Dane's not gay for sure. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Dane is a heterosexual male, cis heterosexual male. Because if this motherfucker was even close to gay, oh my god, he'd be thrilled. If he could just get if he could etch a letter into that alphabet, he would just be like the happiest dude around. I would almost be willing to bet this guy would take a dick just
Supposedly
to get
he is
onto
in the plus.
the chart there. Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Huh.
Everybody's in the plus. The plus is for people who don't want to get involved in all that shit.
Fair enough.
That's my opinion.
But I'm sure he's going to justify why all of this is just fine. And homophobia, it rolls off his back. But it's fine when he does it. Let's hear about this.
Like
Gay all of a sudden. What the fuck is that about? Like, do these people not work for a living?
Probably not.
No, I work.
Like,
Do you?
I
maybe
mean, I
does
would say it's
not.
just that one guy that says that, but
It's
I've heard
been
it
a
from a
few.
couple of people now.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times now. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, somebody
do you
said
live
email
in
is
the
gay.
real world with the
I think it's
rest of
because
us, or are you
Dane
in
tells
some
everyone to
sort of
email him.
Weird la la land where you
Yeah,
use
it's
WhatsApp
not
for all
email
your
is not gay,
communications.
obviously.
They like because I
It's
think
the
it probably
person
has more to
receiving
do
it.
with these are people
I mean, it
that
could
are
be.
into.
It could be gay.
I don't
email.
know. I mean, I guess it depends.
And once
what you're
again,
sending in the email,
Dane misses
but,
the point. He must miss
Yeah,
points on
I think
purpose.
somebody was
Like,
just,
there's no way
you know,
anybody's this fucking
I
obtuse.
think so. You think he's intentionally obtuse? Yeah, I kind of think so.
He
myself.
has to be because
I
he just misses every point. And then argues some other ridiculous
true.
thing like, yeah, nobody emails anymore. Like, people don't use email. Like, email's not a thing. No, we're just saying you're a fucking punk. Like, you're full of shit. Like, we'll send you a fucking email. Gray, you want to send him an email? We'll invite him for a conversation.
Yeah, I think we
think-
should.
you think he'll answer?
We kind of mentioned that in the past. I don't
Yeah.
think so, but I think we should email him and cordially invite him. If he does,
We'll put
wanna,
something together for these
perhaps
two
give
beauty
his
queens.
opinion. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we were going to go through your backstory. Perhaps he would like to weigh in on that or something. It might be nice. Let's send him a gay
I
old
think that would be
email
fair.
and see if he responds.
Yeah.
All right.
You send him a gay one, I'll
gratification.
send a
Like
straight.
that's why they
We'll meet in the
they
middle
want
or
to be able to
bi.
comment in chat and get your reaction, but they don't want to actually be accountable for anything. Sorry, I think you got heartburn from the macaroni and cheese I ate earlier.
Spicy.
Had bacon in it. So yeah, it's I don't know what the deal is. It's stupid. They're all stupid. And
Did Morgan just say spicy? Dane
Spicy.
burped and Morgan was like spicy. I'm pretty sure that's what I just heard.
She's probably in.
Wow.
They is probably in the next room.
Are they in the same room? Like the
Could
wall
be.
is kind of white there. I'm wondering.
That's what
Huh.
on the other
Is it
side of
just
that
a
curtain
thin
is
sheet
they.
separating them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's the
these
they
guys in
behind the curtain.
particular they're not even good at what they're trying to do. That's the thing. Like I was saying the other day, that like they're trying to
Talking
be
about
like
us?
Adam and Sitch or the two guys with the questions.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
compliment.
it's
Like-
not that it's not like they're offensive.
So we're definitely not trying to be Adam and Sitch, but
No,
we
but
were
that's a
very
nice
complimented
compliment.
by the by your insinuation that we're trying to. The fact that you would compare us at all, that's actually quite flattering. We're trying to
Yeah.
do something else. We're trying to just call you on your bullshit. Unfortunately, I don't think Adam and Sitch did that quite as much as they should have. Perhaps it's because you were kind of hiding your true intentions when you were speaking with them.
Yeah.
But
He was hiding his
we would
power.
definitely like
bottom.
to yes, his power level is bottom. But let's get back to it. Apparently we're like Adam and Sitch, or attempting to be.
Great.
Thanks for the compliment.
If it's offensive that they tried.
It makes it worse because at least Adam and Sitch, they've been doing it for several years now.
We
and
offended
they-
you.
they're, I see through it. I think a lot of people do, but
Trying
I
offends
understand why
Morgan.
some people who
Hey,
want us
Clearly.
10 episodes, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna get there, but we're starting. We're in the double digits,
Ke-
friends.
Clearly,
Thanks to
clearly
you,
trying
everyone. Thanks for
trying
watching.
offends both these people. Like any sort of trying, Morgan's like, that's offensive. Trying? Do I look like I try?
Well, yeah, I
No,
mean,
Morgan, you don't. You
not at
don't,
all.
But you're beautiful naturally.
But Dane doesn't look like he tries either. So I think you're right. Like these would be the non-try guys or theys.
You know,
I don't know.
You know what's crazy
Informed or aware might
about hold on, pause for me for a second. What's crazy about
Yes,
Dane? And I
sorry
was thinking
about that.
this
It's a
the
little
other
delayed.
That's okay. We got a little delay. But what's crazy about Dane, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I have a couple of nieces and nephews, and I got everybody knows I have 2 teenage boys at home, and my son and my girlfriend's son, and my son is hitting 16 at the end of this week, and he's matured out of what Dane like looks like now and finds important. Like, if I were to take my son and be like, do you want this shirt? And like, would you like your hair back like that? And like, like he'd be like, fucking no. Like, look at my son's room. Like, it's not like a blowing your mind room or anything. And look at like Dane's surroundings.
But
like a couple of years ago, that's what this room looked like. And now my son's like, no, I'd rather have like cool shit and like, not look like
I
fucking
don't need
dick
all the comic
time.
characters everywhere.
No, like he hasn't grown out of 14.
Yes. Some might say that he was stunted. Maybe he should look into that.
Maybe somebody stuck a finger up his ass like he likes. He's into that, right?
Yeah, apparently, no shame in that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we each have our passions.
I'll take one.
But yeah, that's awesome that your son is maturing. Like, that's awesome. I think it took me a little bit longer than that. It was probably like outside of high school, and then I was able to kind of do that and realize like, hey, why do I have all these stupid posters up and shit? But yeah, I had a little bit of a beating myself, but not enough to make me mature at I would say the average time. I might have been a little bit of a late bloomer, but maybe Dane's just a really, really late term bloomer.
Yeah, he's not gonna bloom.
That they actually are centrists, right?
Right.
Whereas, despite the fact that everything that they
we've never said we're centrists.
from is right wing stuff, and everything they attack is left wing stuff.
The Tim Pool.
That's not true. Okay, so I granted we've probably talked Barbie to death, but no, like I was against almost everybody. I was super into Barbie. There are more right wing things that we're going to look into, but same thing with the cis is a slur thing. Episode 1. Oh yes, I love Velma and you love She-Hulk, but the whole like cis being a slur thing. Like I don't think either of us think it's a slur. We would just prefer not to be called it, but we think that
right out
was
of the gate we were like, it's not a slur,
well.
it's fucking stupid.
So I don't know. I gather you don't pay much attention to much of anything, and you make snap judgment, snap decisions, if you will, and stick with them.
Racist.
I think that's what you did with the whole centrist thing. I don't know exactly where you got it, other than we came out of Adam and Sitch's thing, but I don't know. The only thing close to a label that I've accepted is liberal, as in I'm into liberalism, but I think most people are. It's the economic doctrine that emphasizes individual autonomy, equality of opportunity, and protection of individual rights. I think a lot of people like that. It's not a right-wing thing or a left-wing thing, but I've never claimed the center. Just, I think there was one kind of throwaway line where I mentioned if I've ever taken a political compass test, it's somewhere around the center.
Yeah.
I've definitely gotten center-left on social issues and center-right on economics, so I don't know where that puts me. I don't feel like I'm any camp.
I'm no fucking, political guru of any type, but the thing with the center just fucking bugs me. We could talk about this another time, but it's like if you say I'm like center, I'm centrist, then people are like, oh, that you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you can't have no opinion on anything. And it's like, motherfucker, I don't have no opinion on it. I have some opinions that lean one way. I have some opinions that lean another. It's like, therefore, I'm not one side. I'm not the other. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like you're actually center. Like, these guys seem to be under the impression that means you're saying like, well, I sit on the fence. And it's like, no, you haven't. You make decisions just on different things, and it means you wouldn't fall into one or the other. Like, I'm like 100%
and it's
pro
not
gay
like
marriage.
you guys both have good points, but I'm not going to go for either. It's no, like I don't agree with your entire platform. There's certain things over here, certain things over there. Like you mentioned, gay marriage. It's like, I don't have an issue with it. I don't know. I think that alone like cuts us out of most right wing. Well, a good portion of right wing.
Like,
I don't know. Like social issues like that, I'm a lot closer to the like, don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you. You do you. We're good.
Like I am perfectly okay with gay marriage, but I don't want women to have the right to vote. It's not like
I mean,
right in the middle.
it would be. So I definitely understand that joking position. I would have to say that I've seen a lot more men that I think are
only gay men should be allowed to get married.
Not in their right. Yeah, that's true. I don't see any issue with that. I think that's the strongest platform we can go on. Let's go with that one. Women can't vote and only gay men can get married.
Yeah, just men, just gay men.
Whatever position whatever party that's in. That's us. But I guess I just don't like this centrist thing. I don't know. I've never claimed it. I'm not sure why they keep emphasizing on this. They think they're real centrists. I don't know. Do you think you're a real centrist?
I don't fucking know.
All right. Well, I don't think I'm a real centrist. I think there are people out there who like hold up that mantle. I've never said that's me. Like the one thing I will claim definitely is liberalism, but it's not really a political party. It's, you know, kind of an ideology, but that's about the closest I have. So, yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Back to Dane.
I'm a liberal.
Back to this.
Right.
That
kind of thing.
Tell you
Like,
about how much I want civil war and a Trump, autocracy.
these guys aren't good at it. Like, they're just terrible. And
stop distracting me, you little minx.
Hey, we're working on it. It's only episode 10.
It was fun to pick them apart to give people an example of like,
oh, you picked
what a bad faith question looks like. Because if I was writing bad faith questions 101, the textbook, those were the kind of questions I would ask.
Yep. And I mean,
now this textbook of bad faith 101, would it include taking somebody's DM, putting it on another stream with 3 other people who were told the incorrect context for it, and then just trying to rip it apart and looking for anything that you could that could possibly be misconstrued or twisted to be bad faith? Is that how it says to go into this? Or I'm just curious how this textbook would start. But okay. I think you know my argument that we're not the bad faith ones here. Isn't it good faith to send the questions ahead of time and say, hey, if you're not cool with any of these, we'll switch them out. Hey, if you don't want to answer this, we'll just mark it off the list, cross it off. Just whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And whenever you're ready
and
to do it. But
I've told
what
you
these guys did they reach out to you at all to get like any context or anything like that? Huh. But his name
they're fucking
used to be actual context. Did he drop that when he dropped the notion of actually the pretense of wanting context? I wonder. But yeah, instead now he goes by actual fandom. But even then, he doesn't seem to be an actual fan of anything. It was just a ploy so they couldn't track him down. That makes sense. Okay.
So I want to say this real quick. I'm not revealing it yet, but when I reveal how I put together these questions, I don't know if everybody's gonna laugh or cry, because I had to do some research to put these fucking questions together. So I don't want to let it out now.
Yeah,
because
I thought they were.
I know we've.
I thought they were really good questions, and I thought that you definitely put some time into it, because they weren't just like, why are you gay? Like they were, which I guess that question, you might actually get an answer, but it wasn't like a joke or bad faith question. Like I would say that would be. These had some thought. They had some heart put into it, and the idea behind it was, coming to some sort of understanding. And I don't think they put any good faith into it, or any charity, if you will. And I think that's really shitty. I think you tried to be as charitable as you could to DJ Eric.
I was trying really hard.
Okay, you can do it on whatever channel you want to. If you don't want Gray to be involved, he doesn't have to be. We can do it on your channel. If you want to do it live, fine. If you want to do it recorded, whatever. Like, you were as good faith as you could be. You gave him the questions ahead of time. You told him, again, anything that he doesn't like, we'll strike. He doesn't have to answer anything.
Or if he wanted to come up with something of his own.
And if he had like a time limit or anything like that, I think you bent over backwards to be charitable to him, and we got nothing from them. That does. It just, it doesn't seem like you can call somebody else bad faith when you're coming into the situation like this. But let's see how bad faith these questions are.
Here's what I want to say. One thing, like, part of the questions came from. They came from a thing called a safe space kit.
No, they couldn't have. But the safe space kit wouldn't have been so bad faith. How could that possibly be?
It's basically a guide to understanding and I guess like welcoming to lesbian and gay people into your life and family.
Yeah.
That's where some of them
that
came
sounds
from.
very bad
I
faith
built on
to
them
me.
a little
I'm
bit.
sure it was the Christian version of that. I'm sure it, was totally unwelcoming. And then I'm sure somehow we can just twist that and make it super bad faith. I
wanted to write them in a way where it
wasn't too, apparently.
Yeah. I did steal them, I guess, because I wanted them to sound like, really smart. And I wanted them to be like something we could really sink our teeth into and talk about and have it be like, oh man,
it wasn't what I was expecting. When you show me the questions, it was like, whoa, these are deep. And it seems like you could actually get some understanding from this. Like this would be a real conversation.
I was so afraid of accidentally saying something wrong that was like offensive because the whole
For
fucking
sure.
point was that people are not trying to always be offensive. I wanted to like,
And that's how he's taking everything. He
and it
keeps
was
saying like people keep making him justify his existence, and that it's
Yeah.
okay. It's like you're not at all asking about anything like that. It was more understanding, like, hey, is there a way that we can mesh our groups more together? Like,
yeah,
what are we not getting? But
like the questions were kind of written
I don't-
backwards. It was like, let me take a scenario that like a gay person would be in, and then like how to like look at that whole scenario of a gay and a straight person interacting, and like that's kind of what you know, between that and then the safe space kit, that's kind of where these questions came from. And then I had a little help with wording them because I'm a smart guy, but I'm not the best with you know, putting sentence structure together. So I needed a little
I don't
bit.
know. I'd call you a wordsmith. You
I got away with word.
you made some. You're a craftsman with your. You know, yeah, you got away with word for sure. But
that's
you know, I would say the way that you word things, it's very precise. It's nice. Like you can tell that you're, you know, a skilled wordsmith.
You know,
I enjoy
the thing of it is
your eloquence, sir.
I appreciate that. I really do. And the thing of it is, I think what got me and you so bad with Dane and Morgan and Willow and Eric and the goofing on these questions is, call me bad faith all day long, call me whatever you want, but this really, I know the truth. You know the truth. And you know, the truth was me seeing a person, DJ Eric, who I thought was in some kind of distress because of the way he was lashing out. I looked at him like, okay, this guy's been fighting for so many years against all these things that his punches are getting sloppy and he's just swinging everywhere. And I'm like, maybe I can help him.
Yeah.
And in turn, maybe help some other people to be like, you know what, let's lighten up a little bit and let's see what we're all really talking about. And so my where I was coming from with those questions, with your help and what I thought was DJ's help in the beginning, was really a genuine place of understanding and exactly what these two motherfuckers would always say they want. Why can't you just be more understanding? Why can't you be more tolerant?
Yeah.
Well, why can't you let me fucking ask some questions to figure out how to do it?
Well, I'm sure Morgan is going to explain exactly why these were bad faith and textbook
I'm sorry,
bad faith questions.
I'm going on a tangent.
No, but you know, like you explain where it's coming from and you actually provide the context. I'm sure Morgan is truly going to also get into their evidence for why these questions were so bad faith and why it would make, you know, such a negative impact to try and answer these.
Beautiful
I'm
and intelligent.
sure it's going to be all clear. Yeah.
I think a couple of them ended up being basically the same question. That was just funny.
Yeah,
it was like you guys thought of 5 questions or whatever, and like 2 of them are the same. That's like God coming up with 10 commandments, and like 7 of them are the same or something.
Yeah,
right.
Did he just compare us to God as well?
Are jerk me off harder.
So he's compared us to God and Adam and Sid.
Shit.
That's
Or
so
boyfriend.
far,
I
so
don't want to
good.
be, you know, sexist on that. The dudes can
What
do it
does
too.
God need with a gender?
Yeah, I'm glad the mustard thing's
Not
taken off.
touching that
I know I started calling him mustard. I think mustard lesbian's better, and it makes me kind of like I
Who's
guess
Brett
kind of
Keane?
really I shouldn't call him that.
I was
Hey, weren't you just mocking? I don't know. I probably should have looked that up. I did clip this a while ago and never
Looking it
actually
up right
took
now.
the time to look into it. Perhaps I should look into Brett Keane of, my computer's a potato, so fortunately I can't really bring up another tab, but I don't know. Brett Keane, out of curiosity, male or female? Is Brett Keane a famous lesbian? I don't know.
I think. Well, the weird part is he looks exactly like Eric, like DJ Eric. I mean, they could be fucking twins. They're identical. So he's a 46-year-old YouTuber, and I think like he's Christian or something. Oh, from the Drunken Peasants?
Mazel tov. Oh, okay. So Drunken Peasants is they used to have TJ Kirk and anyway, they're an okay podcast. I don't
like
think
Morgan
he would be
in this
Christian
one.
if he's from there.
I don't know. Maybe I read the first part wrong.
Okay.
Well, it's not for the looks.
Huh.
You guys are similar. I'll tell you that.
About that. Well, you never know. I might go through a, Guy Fieri stage or something like that when I get up into my 40s. You never know.
Maybe.
Stay tuned. But saying that I'm a mustard lesbian. Now, didn't he just say that like this homophobia and stuff from other people, he doesn't like it and it doesn't matter to him because he's not gay and it doesn't matter. So why is he going to that for, you know, a
that's his go-to insult.
Call it a nickname, a pet name for me. Yeah.
It's an
Why
insult
was he,
for him.
you know, saying that we would be running on the beach together? Why, you know, is Ed also making that? And granted, he's not responsible for Ed, but you know, why did Ed also decide to say that thing? Like, invite me to your guys' wedding. It's like, do you guys really think that gay is an insult? Because I don't know. Like, I really don't care about it, but you guys seem to call people bigots for doing the same thing. But it seems to be a go-to for you. Like, in fact, you've had time to think of a nickname, and you come up with lesbian mustard. I don't know. It seems strange, but maybe Morgan, because you know Morgan has that standard. I'm sure they'll.
How did they miss
that,
out?
You know, that's not.
How
right.
did they miss out on gay Poupet?
Yeah,
where,
I know.
Like, come on.
It's like, okay, if you're gonna go gay, like lesbian mustard, really?
Yeah,
I know.
It's like
like or gay puppet. Like, come on. There's so many like good ones you could go with. Yeah, like does that not? It's got a certain ring to it, but
perfect.
Yeah, surprisingly, you know, he doesn't exactly go there. But I'm sure Willow will strut him straight, and he'll never call me a lesbian again.
No,
don't besmirch the good name of lesbians. Good job.
He just looks like
we're already besmirching mustard.
They've been taking a licking lately.
Like we don't need to insult two good things.
I mean, I think
one.
I love mustard. Besmirching mustard himself, but
probably.
But it's a specific brand he is besmirching. So
right.
Anyway, yeah, I honestly, you know, I have no evidence of anything.
Dijon,
so I'm not going to make a plate case.
It doesn't have to be of a particular.
But it does seem like they're directed by someone. Like there's no reason for them to be so fixated on exclusively us.
Mr. Beck,
you know,
on to us.
Holy shit. Do you want to call Glenn or should I? Somebody needs to know that he's onto us. Our cover's been blown. The Blaze. I don't have. Oh no. I've been undercover too long. I don't know how to. You got to pull us out of here. Yeah. Like what the fuck? So okay, is it Eric July? Is it the Blaze? Who's funding this operation? Yeah, you're streaming from
Eric,
your kid's room,
and not you.
I have like an extra room in my house that is my office, my gym, and also my vocal booth. So yeah, it's not exactly like I'm, you know, flush with funding from, you know, some nefarious means. The Koch brothers aren't funding this operation here. It'd be cool if they did, you know. We wouldn't be opposed to running ads or even a direction, if you will. But currently, we are unaffiliated with anything. I would like to know your proof
you gotta hear my garbage
that we must be funded. Other than what other reason could we be doing this? Well, Dane, it's not that we're getting paid for this. It's that, you know, you literally fucked over Patrick. You were pretty horrible to him and then made some horrible accusations afterwards, which we're going to go into very, very soon. Again, we're going to send you a gay-ass email and see if you want to come on and talk about your impression of that. But, you know,
pick the wrong fucking guy,
aside from that, I watched you be very dishonest in that Adam and Sitch debate. And then I kind of looked into some of your content. When I saw it, it's like, he's just a fucking liar. And I don't like this standard, this whole pattern to then call someone a bigot. Again, if you're going to use that pattern, you guys are all bigots now. Your pattern against Chrissy Mayer was that she said like 4 jokes and she had 6 bad associations. Well, you've called Patrick a transphobe and a racist. You know, you had him on a stream, so that's one association for you. You know, you've called me a white nationalist, and Bob has streamed with me, and then so has Ed. So, you know, that, sorry, it wasn't white nationalist, it was alt-right. Sorry, the other horrible label that you've come up with.
It's like 6 degrees of racism.
Sorry, I might have, yeah, exactly. But, you know, so Ed and Bob now get that. So that's like 2 more associations for you. You know, you stream with this dude who called Eric July a slur. And then he, you know, had another guy that you stream with double down and call him that multiple times, not on your stream, but on somebody else's. You know, you've been caught making slurs. You know, you've been caught doing death threats. You've been caught, oh, yeah, that's right, threatening to grape someone's family, except for the dad, because he was willing to do it. You know, that sounds like a very troubled pattern right there. You know, maybe you do have a point to the pattern thing, and that just, you know, condemns you forever. But why would you not hold that up to yourself and your cohorts? It seems weird that you use this pattern for just people you hate. You use it as a cudgel. That doesn't seem like any sort of principled stance. So that's why I got into this. I saw this pattern thing as bullshit. I tried to talk to you. The second I put a question into your chat, you blocked me. Bob then said, either you debate me or you're getting blocked when I asked him again about the pattern. So we had a debate. So that's how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
I wasn't funded by Coke or, Big July or Big Beck. It's really shitty that you'd go there instead of just realizing that, like, your actions have made me want to call you out for being, a fucking liar. It's
so sick that his mind
simple.
goes there, though, that, like, his mind goes right to, like, there must be some, like, outside of, they're getting together and they're gonna get me. They're all together talking about me, and there's a plan. This all leads back to Dane being a shut-in and, like, being just terrified of the outside world. Like Dane, when the football players, I know you don't watch football, but when the football players get in a huddle, they're not talking about you, motherfucker. They're talking about their plays. Like, come on, man.
But do you know for a fact that they're not talking about him?
I don't.
They might be.
I don't.
That's the point.
And the coach is probably, directing them. We're funded by the NFL, actually. I know Willow seems to think
we wouldn't be opposed to it.
The what is it? White? What did they say that time? That it's hetero History Month is like NFL.
Oh,
the NFL season.
Oh yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, I can't remember how the exact line. It was very stupid, but yeah, basically saying like, yes, heterosexuality is a bunch of dude in really tight, pants slapping each other on the ass. That is heterosexuality.
It was
like I don't know. Like again, that's super performative.
It was as dumb as Morgan is beautiful, which is very.
There are people that say more or less the same stuff we say, but like they seem to have a very specific fucking vendetta against us. I know one of them does.
Which one?
Also, so I think he's going to be talking about you. I'm not sure if your ears are burning, but no, like you've just been an ass to us and lied nonstop about us as well. So we kind of have to answer to these. But sorry, I think he is going to be talking about someone with a particular vendetta. Who could that be?
And then the fact that now we realize that anytime one of us has a conflict with anybody on the internet, and if that's a public thing, like DJ and this other piece of
maybe
shit,
it was me. Maybe I'm the one with the vendetta.
Slur and said something about getting AIDS or whatever. Had nothing. They weren't connected to these people at all. But as soon as that happened and it became a thing, they're on his stream and stuff, and that's not the first time they've done that. They're like literally going
narrative.
Yeah. So a bunch of people are reaching out to me. Again, we're kind of turning them down. But I actually found out that me going on MSK's show actually had nothing to do with my Bob debate. He actually didn't know about it. He brought that up on Tuesday. He's like,
that's
wait,
funny.
You debated Bob? And like was kind of going through it. Apparently it's just through Kidda. So Kidda was on his show a couple times, and I guess I don't know if he caught me on her show or she suggested me, but apparently he found out who I am through Kidda. So it's weird. It actually has nothing to do with these guys at all.
These little
for sure. But I'd always thought that he had watched that Bob debate, but apparently he was not even aware of it until last Tuesday. So that's my bad. I think I kind of said that I think he saw that and that's how he knew me, but no, not at all. So. But no, I'm not reaching out to everybody. And again, if you guys could suffer through the horrible audio from last time, I didn't go on MSK's show just because Eric called him out. That was like my 10th appearance or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I think the guy's funny. He's super offensive. He's over the top, but I think he's funny, and I think he has a right to say what he's saying, and he totally owns everything that he's saying. So I don't know. I see no problem with it.
He does
his thing on Rumble because he's very offensive. But again, I didn't seek him out. He seeked me out. And apparently it has nothing to do with these guys at all. Just, circles.
Just fun.
Yeah. Around and finding anybody that
not everything revolves around Dane.
They're like making friendly with them. Like, that's kind of interesting, man. Like what could I understand people on the internet piss each other off. I understand you want to, talk some shit, but like, why haven't they moved on? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of interesting. Just seems to be something behind that's not quite evident yet.
Because you keep
a lot
talking
of
about
effort
it.
for a low subscriber channel is what it seems like because
it does seem like it is a lot of effort, but it's not.
Viewers don't have
it's effortless, actually. So I think they're actually calling Dane the low subscriber channel, that it's a lot of effort for us to attack him. And it's like, dude, you've wasn't it a lot of effort for you to read these questions from a no subscriber channel? I think at that time, like, you had just created your channel. I think maybe I was subbed, but honestly, I don't think we'd advertised it or anything yet. We just kind of created it because we weren't sure if it was going to be on your channel or on his channel. So I don't know. Like, wasn't that a lot of effort to go through to, you know, mock a no subscriber channel? I don't know. Like, can't you just keep using that same logic? It just
That was
it
supposed to be
doesn't
my
feel like you guys are being
inaugural
consistent in anything.
stream.
Yeah, it's kind of why I helped you create the channel. It's like, okay, cool. We got to get like artwork. We got to get everything done with the channel.
Yeah, I had
Get
to
it
have a
ready for
channel.
this conversation. And then it didn't happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, now you got a channel. And yeah, if you guys haven't, check out Patrick's channel. There will be content in the future, but you might want to be aware of it by subbing. The link is down there.
One day.
But yeah, I'm sure you know, they're going to explain why it's just fine for them to go after an even lower channel, a lower subscriber number channel. But you know, it's horrible for us to go after them because they're just a low subscriber channel. So let's see why.
A ton of subscribers. You don't even know that they're monetized, but like they've got a lot of time and effort put into this. Like, and maybe it's just their hate hobby project, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
I like that.
But I mean, even if that's
it
the
is
case,
kind of a hobby,
but
we want to take this seriously.
Hate us.
Yeah.
Why? Like, other than we might have said,
we don't hate
some
you.
stuff about you or whatever. Like, you know,
think
ever
that
since
you
the very first time,
other than we said some
debate
stuff
Ed
about you or whatever,
and then Bob too.
That's what he just said. He's like, I don't know why. Other than we said some.
Yeah,
stuff
I mean,
about
we
you
might have
or
said
whatever.
some stuff, or yeah. Let's go back just a little bit and see that explanation
Racism.
again. I think I talked over it.
From what I understand, they don't have a ton of like viewers. They don't have a ton of subscribers. You don't even know that they're monetized. But like they've got a lot of time.
We have a ton of great viewers, and thank every one of you.
Like, and maybe it's just their hate hobby project.
10 episodes, baby.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
But I mean, even if that's the case, even if it's just their hobby to be hateful, hate us, why? Like,
hateful?
Other than we might have said some stuff about you or whatever. But like, you know, ever since the very first time Mustard went on to debate Ed or whatever, and then Bob too.
Why? I mean, like, you were talking about you, but why?
The initiative to anything that he possibly could that one of us had said. So he's trying to connect it to everybody, and it's like,
okay,
or whatever.
That is really stupid. So he totally missed the point. The point is that the pattern that they talked about on Adam and Sitch, the pattern that they kept saying, that they kept justifying, is their way of telling if somebody is a bigot or not, and their ability to then call them a racist. Right. I think I cleared the clips because we went through it so many times. But again, there's the famous clip of Dane saying, you don't have to look at each individual incident, because if you look at each individual incident, it could be explained away. Instead, what you need to do is zoom out, look at the bigger picture, and just feel the vibe of it. That is the dumbest way I can think of to actually label somebody something. I feel you're this, so you're just going to be this. I'm not going to actually look into the evidence. Just, you know, again, if you do that, why aren't you doing that to yourself? That's my entire point. That whole thing is stupid. I haven't heard you talk about the pattern for quite a while. Every time you do now, it's kind of joking. So I think I got through you guys, even though you don't want to admit it. But yeah, again, I think you guys are extremely hypocritical when you try to be the arbiters of who is or isn't a bigot. Again, you have mislabeled my friend, and that kind of started his vendetta against you as well. But I actually thought they were talking about you. I think he might have been talking about, apparently I have a vendetta against him. I don't. I think you're a liar, Dane, and I want to point it out when I see it. I think the world deserves to not be fooled by you.
Yeah. And then I think a small part of it too is like that we actually like you were doing some of this in the very beginning, like you were trying to help me get my stuff started. And I don't mean our show, I mean prior to that. And then it was like after all this shit happened, like it was almost like you were doing me a favor at a certain point. But it was so complimentary to the fact that you can't stand that these guys are so full of shit. So it kind of just like it was kismet, you and I. It was perfect timing. We do have
I think so. And we've met like an awesome community as well, like everyone else.
I know.
Yeah, no, and
like,
I unfortunately don't think this community would have kind of found each other had they not been kind of assholes on Adam and Sitch. But he still would have apparently been an asshole to you. But I'm glad that, you know, the universe kind of brought their world to the world that I was looking at on YouTube, and I kind of decided to follow that and see why this kind of rubbed me the wrong way so much. And yeah, once I kind of dug into it, I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get them to explain it, and they just will not talk about it. I don't know.
I want Morgan to rub me the wrong way.
Who wouldn't want that? You know, with someone like Morgan. But if you guys think that any of our you know, beliefs or approaches or anything like that are wrong, please let us know. We'd be interested to talk to you. But Yeah, I don't think these guys would do the same thing.
You know,
No.
we became aware that that's going to be the first tactic that people will try to make with the initiative is like tie us all together for, you know, guilt by association.
Right.
But
never
it's
heard
really
of that
just
before.
I mean, like you did again. Like, so I think we'll probably be going through this again next time. You know, with a sneak peek at certain jokes and everything. But like their entire thing, their case against Chrissy Mayer was just 4 jokes and 6 associations, and then they were able to call her a racist and a bigot for that. You could tie more than that to these guys, but their whole thing is guilt by association. So, okay, they're all in a group together. They share the same moniker and they stream together. It seems like that association shouldn't be off limits to them, but for some reason it is. That seems very strange. Again, no principles. But again, I don't believe in guilt by association. I just think if you guys are holding
No.
others to that standard, why is it off limits for you?
It's just concern trolling, and it's you know, he's all the dude does is point out hypocrisy or perceived hypocrisy whenever something egregiously
Not
shitty is
concern
done.
trolling.
We are
by someone
concerned
else.
about
And then
you.
like, you have no place to literally what he
Yeah,
says
there
in
is
this
concern.
one video
On your
clip,
part.
where he's like, DJ or Eric, you have no place to point out blah 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 whenever you are friends with Dane, who literally threatened to
call
murder someone and threatened to rape a whole family or whatever. And I was like, no, I didn't. I said I would fuck him. There's,
You did.
you know,
You would show them a very good time. You would show
I
them
will
the
fuck your mother. I will fuck your sister. I'll fuck your father too, because he wants to. All right. I will talk so much shit that you'll have shit coming out of your fucking grandfather's fucking urn.
You
Okay.
would show them the best carnal experience of their life.
Yeah, I don't
I
think so.
highly doubt Dane is capable of doing that. But but
I feel like Dane
again,
cries after
you gotta
sex.
listen to the very last line of that. Your father because he wants it. That implies the other two
Yeah.
did not want it.
They
I'm
did
sorry,
not
by
want
his
it.
own words, that was not with consent. Yeah, but I guess we kind of get to go into Dane's fantasies here. But apparently, Morgan is you know, on the hype train that Dane would give everybody the best
Yeah.
carnal experience of their life.
Morgan's like,
I
fuck
wonder
those guys.
if they are speaking from experience or just, you know, one of those fake Yelp reviews. Hard to say.
The whole
It'd be
point of
very
that is
Morgan-
not that just
Morgan
I'm gonna fuck 'em,
fucks.
it's that they're
You can
gonna
tell.
want you to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
They're gonna enjoy it.
that's the real part of the insult there, guy.
They're gonna say
Like,
thank you when you're done.
Dead
Exactly.
of the
They're
real
gonna
man. I'll fuck you till you love me, fat.
exactly. They're gonna want my
They're gonna
number.
give
and
them
I'm
the
gonna say,
tip, and they're gonna give
So
you a
that
nice
kind of
tip.
reminded
I'm gonna
me
give
of a
them
classic
number
clip
to
from
call, but
the
it's not gonna be
you know,
mine. They're
90s,
gonna
if
be
you will.
fucking heartbroken for months.
Yeah, yeah. I love that one. Well, fuck
He
you,
is
you
starting
love me.
the chud hood of evil chuds, basically.
That's the redundant.
Hey, we already came up with the name last week, sir. It is the LSD,
Yeah.
the Legion of Stupid Doom. You've already dubbed us that. Sorry, you can't go back on LSD. It's too
Yeah.
cool. That is now
We are
what
the
this
Legion of
thing is
Stupid
called.
Doom.
We didn't have a name or an organization prior to last week, but you know, now we've got a few new initiates in our
And
you
yeah,
know, Legion of
And I-
Stupid Doom.
I-
The LSD is growing, sir.
and I want Dane to be the Social Justice League. And we'll fight against him.
It's so much better than the Fandom Initiative. But you know,
I know,
th-
a
that's
stupid
that's
name.
fine. Yeah, Social Justice League would be so much better. But these guys aren't so great
Oh, look
at
at
coming
Morgan.
up with
Morgan's
names.
getting frisky.
That is kind of some sass coming off of that screen right there. You know, it is interesting that
It's spicy.
their walls are almost the same color as their skin.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
They dress to
Alabaster,
match
I
their
think, is the
walls.
color that they call that.
Mm.
Mhm.
Department of Redundancy.
But I mean, so then it even raises the question of like, why
Hmm.
would you be so dedicated to making when the people that we talk about have massive platforms compared to
A fool
us?
of you.
Like, and then like, I don't know. It
It's
sounds like
okay.
you're doing somebody's
You
light
seem to
work.
be
is what
lying
it seems
about
like.
them.
They're doing somebody's, you know, kind of a
I mean, on
Again,
the scale of
so-
things,
Who is funding this? Are we funded by Big Beck? Is
Yeah.
Glenn funding all of this? Oh, it's hard to say. Perhaps we're funded by Big Adam and Sitch. I don't
Mr.
know.
Beck, Mr. Beck, are
I
you
don't know.
there? Dane is on to
no.
us. Morgan knows. I don't know why
Eric
that makes me
July.
laugh so bad. Like
He's
the
known that he's on
old-timey
his tail.
voice.
Yeah.
Mr. Beck, call Eric July
I don't get
immediately.
it.
There is a problem.
So I don't want to diagnose,
fuck?
but you know, paranoia seems to be quite a big thing here. You know, it's not all about you, but yeah, if you keep talking about us and you keep lying, you know, I feel like we're gonna respond and then point out those lies. So I don't know. Keep her name out your mouth. We probably would have moved on by now, but here we are.
I don't have time for this, but I need somebody to do it.
Yeah, like if I were the sort of person
Chewbacca
who
came out there.
had
Dane's too busy at work.
resources
Mm.
and a shallow ego that was easily offended by a couple of you, or what, there's 4 or 5 of you.
Mm-hmm.
If
publicly,
who's he talking to? I mean, who are they talking to?
Now Dane's trying to compete hair-wise with Morgan.
If I was someone who had a massive following and resources and was nettled by you guys,
nothing skeeves me more than Dane combing his hair.
Finding someone to start shit just to like keep you busy and keep the rest of the initiative
which one
busy,
is it?
Dealing with these.
Is it Eric
Yahoos.
July who's funding us?
Yep. Because anytime you're talking about them, it's time you're not talking about.
They know
Friday Night Tights.
Yep. I mean, that's definitely.
Am I here on behalf of Chrissy Mayer? Who's funding this?
Express and it, like at the same time, it does.
Rags,
I don't want to
right
continue
I'm in the middle
giving
of
them any airtime after tonight.
Yeah.
But
it was EFAP all along.
They do give
Rags,
opportunities to discuss how chuds operate and how people who aren't as obvious with chuds.
But he only funded up to episode 11. So guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we were only funded up to episode 11. So if you guys do want to see more episodes after this, it would be awesome if you could help make that happen. No, I'm just kidding. We are not funded by anyone.
Really, actually,
I'm going to leave Morgan's
OnlyFans. That whole concern trolling of hypocrisy, right?
Right.
Like, oh, well, so what if somebody, killed your mother? You said that somebody was a piece of shit one.
What? Somebody killed your mother?
What?
That's really horrible. No, that's not so what. That would be like, what the fuck? Somebody killed your mother?
Yeah. Yeah, like
I know.
But it's like, they're in jail or dead.
Both of those are fucking wrong. And I think you'd kind of prioritize the murder over calling someone a piece of shit. Like, no, you're totally wrong, sir. But okay.
Like maybe if you're gonna be like
wrong.
somebody like
one is more wrong than the others.
Somebody raped you, might something. Like they have to be close. Like somebody killed your mother or somebody killed your brother.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be like somebody killed your mom.
Yeah.
Somebody gave you a dirty look on the line at Starbucks. Same
and
thing.
They don't even care about the murder. They just care about their line privilege.
They didn't even ask me.
I don't know. Fuck this guy. Like, okay, we're giving actual examples. All he's doing is giving vagaries that are extremely stupid. But could go on again. Keep explaining, Dave.
Time or something like
okay.
That kind of thing. It's like,
anyways. Like and okay. Like I just they're not good faith actors and to
you're not good faith, you dumb bitch.
No assault involved whatsoever.
No, this is all
consensual love making.
Goodest of friends.
To me means very little. To them means a lot.
I was trying to keep a straight face through this whole bit, and I have failed utterly, and I apologize.
That was
what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? They always say the exact same thing. Oh, I'm afraid I have to talk. No, man, I've got a fucking full hour video. I've got lots.
I've never said that in my life.
Here, I'll show you the playlist.
I'm pretty sure
it's the same shit.
I don't know if he'd be afraid. I think he might be like rock hard if he got to talk to the young Rippa, but I don't know about afraid. I don't know. What do you think? You think he'd be afraid if he could talk to Eric July? I don't think he would.
I think he'd be like.
I don't think he has skills, and he knows.
I think
that
he'd be
now,
like.
So he knows he would get owned. So
be like prom date. He'd be nervous but excited.
I'm just saying, like, I think so. He would get those butterflies, but it's like finally, it's happening. It's now. I've dreamed of this moment.
Look at that troll face.
For over a year, I've stared at this charlatan. I know. So I don't know if he'd be afraid, but still, I think there would be a lot of butterflies for him. I think he would be very excited, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But afraid, I don't know. I think he knows that he would get owned in a debate, but I don't think he's afraid. It might actually be a strategic advantage for him to not want to talk.
If he did it from his safe place, he'd be okay. But like we know that, like, afraid is a relative term for Dane. It's like saying, like, is it dark or light out? Like he's afraid of everything. That's why he's a shut-in. That's why he doesn't leave his house. That's why he doesn't do anything. That's why he has to. I'm sure anything that Dane eats or gets is brought by Grubhub using his WIC card, and if it's not SNAP EBT eligible, I'm sure he's not getting it. But he's probably getting everything delivered because he's afraid of everything. He's even afraid of his. He built up this whole world for himself, this whole little internet YouTube fan base, and he's even afraid of that so much now that everything's shut down. He can't get in anywhere with Dane because he's too terrified of what you're going to say. So yeah, you know what? I take it all back.
he's
Yes,
afraid.
maybe I have said he's afraid to talk to young Ripa, but it would be the same as saying he's afraid to go look at that butterfly on that rock. Like he's afraid
That
of
is
a caterpillar.
true. I mean,
you know?
have you seen the way that it flies? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's probably racist.
No, man, I just have other shit to talk about. You know,
It
what
does
I
have a
mean?
pattern.
Yeah.
It's funny because you guys will show up and you'll be like,
It's
oh,
a
all you do
pattern.
is talk about young Ripper. And then I don't talk about him. And it's like, oh, you're afraid to talk about him. I'm not afraid of him because he's a fucking pussy, dude. He's a pussy. And he's also, you know, hundreds, thousands of miles from me. Unless he plans
His
on like
pussy was
hiring
very
me
far
as a
away.
hitman or something like that. I got nothing to worry about. You know, he talks
That's
shit as
fucking
if
fine.
he's gonna fight somebody. He does that. He tends to do that with people because he's a pussy. That's what pussies do. And you're a pussy for showing up and giving a shit. You know what I mean? Like you're an idiot for believing anything he says.
Wait. When you talk
Okay?
shit from far away,
So, yeah.
then he just called
It's
someone
just-
a pussy. I don't know. Isn't he just calling himself a pussy? And isn't
Pretty
that all
much.
he does? When he threatened to, grape and kill someone's family, wasn't that then a pussy move? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it seems like the dude has no like thought on what actually. I don't know the implications of the words that he's saying. He seems to keep
he's got a
self-telling.
projector coming out of his vagina. This fucking guy. Where'd Morgan go?
That must be uncomfortable. So then it went to his own private stream for this one.
Oh.
But Morgan will be making another appearance.
didn't let me
next
say
week, I
goodbye.
believe. I'm sorry.
You didn't let me say goodbye,
I
Gray.
did deprive you of that beauty. I know. Again, what can I say? But hey,
I was gonna slip
absence
her my
will make
number.
the heart grow fonder. So just think of next week when you get to see Morgan again. It's going to be
Okay.
lovely.
All right,
But,
that's gonna be
Morgan
nice.
does make another opinion or appearance in the near future.
Okay, I have that to look forward to.
That's true. We're all terrified of him. Now, you want to know what the deal is with
Oh,
Scam
indeed.
Lee, as we call him around here? Religion Vlogs or whatever your stupid name is. You want to know what his deal is? I can tell you. here real
Refugio
quick.
vlogs.
It's where's it at? Man, I thought I had a drop ready of it, but I guess not.
Guess not, Dane, you dumb bitch.
I think he was looking for his R slur
Well-
drop, the one from Quantum Leap
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, shocking.
So instead, he came up with an even
Maybe he pulled-
classier
maybe he pulled his man
drop.
bun too
where I
tight.
think he finally
You
finds
should have
it.
died at
Oh,
birth.
that's nice.
Whoa, spicy.
Yeah.
No, man,
Oh,
that's
so
pretty
spicy.
fucking stupid.
Way
And
to
look,
go,
he's got
Dane.
the typical MAGA profile picture. He's got sunglasses and like, oh.
I mean, put a camouflage hat
So he
on
looks like
DJ
DJ
Eric.
Eric.
It's the same fucking person.
Nah,
Yeah,
seriously,
seriously.
he's Scam Lee. I'll give you that.
Well,
He's
you'd
the
have to,
Stan Lee of scams.
wash all the dye out of his
Dane's
beard
just
and put on
jealous of
like
this guy's
normal
beard.
glasses.
We'll agree on
but
that.
yeah.
How about that?
Clearly.
He is the Stan Lee of scams. Now,
Indeed.
Me too.
I'm jealous of his beard.
Plus Stan Lee didn't have moves like this.
I built like a goddamn brick.
I don't know. Is it weird that he tries to make a black man
You know
dance
what I
on
mean?
his show
I never
Little
saw
bit.
for
Stan
his
do that.
entertainment?
I like
I don't
the
know.
move though.
It would feel a little bit wrong to
Anyway,
me.
so that actually gives me a good opportunity. Thank you, Religion Vlogs.
Yeah, no, he's got rhythm.
Thank you for the opportunity. Because I didn't want to announce that I have a specific policy going forward about people like yourself, right? If you show up in my chat and you want to troll or talk shit or you
he's
want to be
making a new
hostile or whatever,
policy.
I'm sure
just
he'll
go ahead and
stick to
email me,
it.
and we'll set
Send
it
him a
up
gay
where you
email.
can come on the stream and say what you want to say.
I'm gonna come.
But I'm not doing this
I'm
shit
gonna come
anymore,
right
man.
on that
I'm not doing
stream.
this shit where you guys show up and you distract me
You
from the
derail
point that I'm
me.
trying to make.
Well,
the
let's send him an
content that I'm
email,
trying to make
and
for my audience,
if
'cause
the
it's
only way that
disrespectful to
he'll
my
do
audience.
that
I'm
interview
disrespecting my
or
audience
whatever, give his
by
point,
giving you
is if we're
fucking
on a
time.
stream. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I apologize
But yeah,
Yeah,
expect
I'll
a gay email
simulcast
from us
that
very
bitch.
soon, sir.
to my audience for that. You know what I mean? But like, if you're not willing to say it on stream, then you're not going to be able to say it.
I
in
would
my
legit
chat. I'm
put up
blocking you now.
$100 to the charity of his choice for if he would even answer the email. Right?
Emails aren't.
If he just said "fuck you," I'd be like,
Yeah. I'd throw a 50 on that. I'm not doing quite as well as you, but that's 150 to the charity of his choice if he wants to give his opinion on it. But I have a feeling he will not do that.
totally.
For straight folks, dude,
That's-
you're retarded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Morgan. I'm sorry, but you're retarded, dude.
Hey, now that's just
You're a
over the
fucking
line,
idiot.
religion vlogs.
I honestly can't imagine
We can
anybody
all
saying
email.
something more fucking
Yeah, I mean,
stupid than that.
I'm fine.
Again, though, to the ableism, he's got to go with the R slur again. But you know, I don't think there's an issue with that, but he thinks that there's an issue with it, and then he constantly gets reminded by, you know, Morgan, by his audience, by everybody that like, hey, you keep using this slur, this ableist slur, and you keep going after others for using slurs, but he doesn't change. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like he's a slow one.
Come on,
this one,
Dane.
but
How does he
again,
expect people to
rules
live up
for the
to his
not for
standards if
me.
he can't live up to them on his own? Exactly.
Oh, he can't. So I don't know. I don't think he has many expectations, but yeah, we're almost done here. Let's finish this up.
Aside from the fact that, you know, I'm straight too, but, you know, I understand you're trying to call me gay, Dane. That's some kind of bad
we know
thing. I wouldn't care. Call me gay, man.
Please call me gay.
Like, it literally doesn't. You're the one who thinks like that. You're the one who thinks that being gay is a bad thing because probably deep down on some level, you want a finger in your butt, you fucking retard. Now that we're done with him.
We're done with
finger in the
him.
butt. It's not a bad thing.
Finally, Dan and I agree on something.
Sorry about that. I'm already dealing with a lot of blowback from the last guy that I went off on.
Well,
but there you go.
No, do
mustard,
you call people R
mustard
slurs and then say that they want
them.
fingers in their butt? I don't know. It's weird.
And then you can have that clip for free. You can share it around. Maybe get a few clips.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for the clip. I appreciate that, Dane. You know, friend of the show, offering us a little gift here of this clip of, you know, calling someone an R slur, saying they want fingers up their butt, and then 2 seconds later saying, no, there's anything wrong with it. It's a good thing.
That's off to you, my friend.
So, you know, it seems like it's just, you know, interesting. Okay, Dane, let's let you finish up here. I think you just got a couple more things to say.
Love me, man. I know you need that. I know you literally have no talent or anything to offer except for, you know, making shit up about me and distorting context around things that I say and do. So there you go. You can have it.
We have not made up one thing. We have provided all the context.
That's the best part about this, is not having to distort shit.
Yeah, everyone gets to just see it for what it is. Yeah, well, what a fun time.
Endless supply.
Always good to catch up with our friends.
Bottomless reservoir. Fucking God.
Always good to catch up with Dane. And hey, you know, I don't think I'd seen Morgan before. Quite a looker. Quite stunning.
No, I was pretty. That's not what I had in my head. I had something quite different pictured in my head, and pleasantly surprised. Good for you. I love the hair, the glasses. I like it's like almost like, you know, those like wingtip, like 70s style, almost kind of retro look to those glasses. I thought they were very nice.
They did seem kind of a throwback. Could definitely give DJ Era Eric a little bit of style advice with the frames.
But
you know, maybe those frames only come with actual lenses in them. So maybe that's not gonna suit him. I'm not sure.
Maybe they have that, or the rose-colored glasses from the beginning. It's like they're seeing everything through a particular light in those. That's why all these guys got these big fucking glasses on. They're racism glasses. Everything is racist or bigoted when you wear them.
It is the you know, distorted lenses through which they look.
I'll tell you.
But yeah, I think you ready to wrap this up with a trip to the mailbag?
I am, but you know.
Okay, he's a guy. He's a thinker. He's an intellectual.
I've been reliably informed that the personal is political and everything is politics. So,
you know. Me, it's okay if you degrade me, it's okay if you open the house, it's okay, all of these things. I will be okay, all of these. Just somebody please marry me. You know, it's kind of
you like my large breasts, but do you know what it's like to live with them?
Rather than you can beat me into submission, it's okay, I'll still love you, Daddy. I mean, I think
the first thing my chat says is, well, we know where the goatee is.
Enjoy. Oh, fuck you! Have a nice life.
I'll see you lesbians later.
That's right. The best day of the week is now Thursdays, with every Thursday having a new Think on That Darn Kid's channel. Now, what is a thinker, you may ask? Well, we're a diverse group of open-minded individuals who like to explore ideas and opinions. Feel free to explore the back catalogs. There's a bunch of different thinks on there, from medical assistance in death, to fathers, to kink, to male loneliness, to even more abstract topics, like why are words? We have a very diverse group of thinkers joining us from all around the world. So please, join us for a think. And hey, there may even be a diagram involved.
You know.
wow, it's that time of the day again. It's you know, the pinnacle of the show, if you will, the time where we get to go to our mailbag. And again, if you guys have a question, please send it in. We've got the askitchud@gmail.com. What's a chud? Well, a chud is one who is creative, helpful, unifying, and determined. We're taking it back. We're doing our part to take it back anyway. So again, send your questions to askitchud@gmail.com. We have the answers to so many questions. We just need you to ask them. But yeah, getting back
emails
the
aren't
one
gay
from last week. Yeah, that's true. We don't think they're gay, but if you do, that's fine. We'll accept you as well.
Respect your choice.
But yeah, feel free to email us, or you know, you could leave a comment down below. But come on, that's not as gay as email. So please email us.
Gay it up.
But last week we had a very fun email from Jan, who said, "I'm not sure how many members are part of the Fandom Initiative, but out of the members that they have, how would you rank them in intelligence, dumbest to smartest, and which one is the most entertaining, even if they're wrong? They annoy me, but I think it makes them fun to watch. Keep up the good work, Jan." So thank you again, Jan. That is awesome, and we really did appreciate that. So
what is it on 1 to 5? Scale 1 to 5?
I think it's up to us to determine our own scales.
Oh,
but
okay.
you know, I went ahead and took a page out of Dane's book and made a little PowerPoint. So I might have spent a little bit more time on this than you have. I was able to make a presentation, but I would be interested in yours. So if you want to wait until I'm done, go ahead. Or if you want to weigh in, go right ahead. So I went with the Fandom Initiative and Friends because, you know, there's some people who are loosely associated, and you know, it would be nice to include them in here. I think that would help everybody.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. But I decided to do a little bit more. I also decided to throw their content in there. So Jan asked us to rank their intelligence and how entertaining they are, even if they're wrong. But I also wanted to kind of bring up their content. You know, it was a segment that we had that we were going to do before that, like, it can't be all bad.
Yeah.
We kind of went through some of their content and actually, like, praised some of it. So, you know, I thought, you know, I do want to include their content. We won't necessarily only be talking about the best of their content, but yeah, I did give this a little thought. So I ended up coming up with 10 members of the Fandom Initiative and their friends, but I'm not sure that you know, they would necessarily all be part of it. So some of them are Fandom Initiative adjacent. So for me, coming in at number 10 is Ed from Pop Counterculture, Eduardo, if you will. You know, he has really boring content to me. So but he has some content that is good. So not too long ago, he had this one for The Green Knight. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie. It's kind of trippy. It's kind of out there.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
It's an interesting film, but like, his review of it was incoherent. He seemed drunk off his ass, and just, it is horrible content to watch. And I think that's part of the thing. At one point, it seemed like maybe he cared, and every once in a while, you'll get a gem from him where he is kind of funny or kind of, you know, charismatic. But it seems like most of the time he's just drinking, and it's really hard to watch. So his content for me is like a D. His actual entertainment value, again, I think a lot of it is just based on like how much he drinks. I'm not sure if he's got a problem or anything like that. That's not my business, but I don't know. He doesn't seem to be there to like entertain, and like, it seems towards the end of his streams, oftentimes it's like incoherence, and you know, he's definitely not understanding. I know you got kicked off of his stream for that once, his complete misunderstanding of everything.
Yeah, he's dumb.
So to me, he's not very entertaining. And then as far as intelligence goes, yeah, it's just, he would have failed. You know, I gave him a lot more credit prior to talking to him, but once I actually talked to him, yeah, I just, yeah, I'm not sure that he is an intelligent fella. Maybe he's just been drinking a lot, and that has something to do with it. But yeah, personally, I don't think he's very high up in the intelligence. So yeah, that's where I'd give him. So overall, he comes in 10 out of 10 for me. And again, he's Fandom Initiative adjacent. He is not actually in the initiative.
Yeah, yeah. I gave him a little bit higher.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm spoiling things with Mr. Willie Screedio.
As far as entertainment goes, I would give him a C, depending on who he's talking to. Like, he debated Tiamat. I found it to be extraordinarily entertaining, but that's only because Tiamat was.
Yes.
So
I think so too. And that was a great introduction to Tiamat, by the way.
It was. He can be brought up, I think, by someone better. Intelligence, definitely F right across the board. because he is the dumbest fucking person I've ever had the privilege of seeing. I mean, he's really fucking dumb, but he's a salt of the earth guy. You know, he works with his hands, he picks his nose, fucks his wife. I don't expect much out of this guy. You know, he likes booze. I don't know. God bless him. So you know, he's not a smart guy, but his content, I don't want to give him a B because his content's not good, but he definitely puts some effort in here and there, and he's not without Jesus fucking Christ, the garbage truck's on my street right now. He's a bit of a thinker, so he can actually create things from nothing. So I appreciate that about him, and I wish he would go back to that. But a good ranking though, the
good
10th
point.
place.
I think so, but perhaps you'll disagree with my next choice. So out of the actual initiative, then comes Charles CP, the comedian, if you will. Yeah, for me, his content is just a D. I don't know, like every once in a while he has something that seems decent, but like the most, I don't know, for a comedian, you'd think that it would actually be like funny or entertaining, or there'd be some reason to watch it. There'd be some sort of entertainment. To me, it just it doesn't seem to be passing, or if so, like, you know, you're not getting the overall diploma, so to speak. You know, perhaps you don't have it on your record that you failed, but I don't know. I would expect more from an actual comedian. But you know, one day we might see his tight 10. You know, he might just be done after working on it for a decade. But we'll see. But yeah, intelligence as well. Just the fact that he's like coming to our, you know, comment section and stuff. And well, so this was after I talked about comedy with Ed.
Yeah.
He tried to gatekeep comedy, and I can't use Patrice O'Neill's name because he somehow did like 5 minutes in front of him one night.
He was once in the same room.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you know, you can go ahead and fuck off with that. That doesn't sound very intelligent to me. And just your overall being willing to choose CP as your nickname. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I that alone puts him as a D for me.
Also a big user of the F slur.
That is true. The your whole justification of I'm not unwilling to get in the mud, that mud being racism, so you'll just jump in it because somebody else is racist. Yeah, fuck you, man. That just seems horrible to me. So again, his intelligence, I put him down there. So that is D's across the board, which might be controversial. Oh, well, sorry. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about Willis Screedia? Okay,
so
sorry.
for content, he gets an F because he's not funny. He gets an F for not funny. His intelligence, I'm going to give him a C because even though he is a terrible comedian, he's still a comedian, and he has to actually put together 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It might be the most awkward, unfunny 10 minutes you'll ever see, but he can put it together. So you have to be kind of smart to do that.
One would hope.
And then
we've only ever seen 5, but one day he might have a tight 10.
Yeah,
we hope.
And then F on content. So I guess he's got like a D average almost or something here. No, not really.
And that's where I put him as well.
So
yeah.
And you know what? I'd like
not
to
too
also
bad.
say
So this might be. Sorry. Go right ahead. Sorry for cutting off.
Where's this motherfucker been? Like he disappeared silently.
He went to jolly old England, but I think he'll be back in the near future.
There's no YouTube in England.
There was an immigration issue. I don't know. Something.
No, they don't have internet.
He's been. They've been teased that. Yeah, you know, what can we say? Proto-America doesn't believe in internet, but one day, you know, he may be back. It has been teased.
God, I hope so.
So this next pick might be controversial because it is actually essentially the same score. So it's going to be, again, D's across the board. But I think he is actually slightly more intelligent than CP because he doesn't call himself CP. So again, for Dane, I would put him at number 8. So, you know, the fact that he really keeps putting his foot in his mouth and he doesn't learn from his mistakes, that to me gives intelligence of like a D, but that would be slightly more intelligent than somebody calling themselves CP. Now, for Dane's content, he has made a couple of okay videos. I really did like the Hulk video. It did make me look at the Hulk a little bit different than I looked at him before. You know, like he does have, so Dane has a good point in there as well, that like the Hulk really was the one who was kind of screwed out of the storyline the most. You can kind of just get bits and pieces of his whole character arc and everything like that from a bunch of the different movies, but he doesn't have like a good actual standalone movie. You know, the one that was with Norton is supposedly still canon, but it's not really the same. It's just different, I should say. So it really did kind of make me look at his arc differently. So he has made good content before, and he can be entertaining. But God, when you look at what you get from him usually, and like how deranged he'll be at like the drop of a hat, like you mentioned fruitcake, and he'll just flip on you.
Yeah.
To me, that is pretty entertaining, but that is actually pretty bad content, and that would actually detract his intelligence as well. So even though I think he's hypocritical and will not take a look at himself, I think it would be hard to look at myself if I looked like him. So I guess I understand it. But yeah, for me, he comes in at number 8 overall. What about you, Patrick? You think this is controversial? Would you put him down there?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm distracted by this black pussy behind me. I'm going to rank him differently again. Content, I'm going to give him like a B, because you know what? He's a fucking idiot. But the guy puts effort. It's a lot of effort into what he does. And I don't like anything about it, but I will say it's of a good quality when he has these intros and these little, segues or whatever. I don't know what you call them, but he clearly puts some fucking effort.
He is pretty good at the animation of those little, cutout 2D art things. Like that animation is decent. Okay, I'll give him that. He does put in effort.
Entertainment, B, because I've spent so many hours laughing watching this guy that I can't consider him anything but entertaining.
Okay, so would you give credit to someone if they're like lol cow, like you're entertained, but not for the reasons that they're intending
Absolutely.
it to be?
Just
okay,
like She-Hulk.
I can see ranking him higher then in that. In that, I have gotten more entertainment value from him, so I could see possibly raising that. But okay, fair
and
enough.
then for intelligence, F minus. Hold on, let me let my pussy out here.
Deal. All right. Well, my next one actually again ends up with the D average, but it would then be Bob, Organized Chaos. So for him, I actually gave his content a D plus. He used to have some really good content. I actually dug a lot of the content. When I looked back at it, I found the Versus series. He had a whole series where he put like 2 movies up against each other, kind of compared them. I think he was actually, relatively eloquent and well-spoken in those. I thought the clips that he used were quite good. And I thought the overall premise was like quite amazing. But most of his content now is like really, really low effort, low intelligence reaction content where he's watching something that like the drinker says and just misinterprets it. And I don't think it's intentional anymore. I think he literally plays a portion of the sentence, makes a huge reaction to it, and then completely forgets what they said, listens to the next half, and then reacts to that, but doesn't put them together, so he can't understand what their actual argument is. It's kind of sad. So to me, the content is very low now, but it used to be somewhat good. So he gets a little bit more from me, a D plus. The actual entertainment value, again, if you're looking at his reaction content or when he's on the stream, like most of his reactions are like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird noises, but it's not really like coherent thoughts or adding any actual value to it. So to me, his entertainment is a D minus, but there is times where he is kind of a lol cow, and it's fun to watch. Like when he couldn't understand what the hell he was saying, Rags couldn't understand what the hell he was saying.
Yeah.
So he thought Rags must have taken him out of context. So
context.
he then so he spent like 15 minutes looking for it, finally couldn't find it, and was like, well, I don't know what I was saying, but I'm sure he was wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, that is pretty entertaining, but God, it takes like 20 minutes to get like that lull in.
It does.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's great entertainment. To me, I get a weird pleasure out of that, but perhaps I'm a jackass and I just enjoy watching him fail constantly. But to me, that puts like a D minus as the entertainment. Intelligence, again, for those same reasons that we've explained, I don't see it as, a passing grade. Perhaps he could just barely squeak by with a D, depending on, what school you're in, whether or not that's going to be fail. But I don't see him as a huge success. Any thoughts on Bob?
Yeah. So, there's a plane. Christ, my apartment is so noisy today. The plane. So, again, I agree with the content. Like, Bob used to like put some effort in, and lately it's just him sitting there like he looks tired. I don't know. I know he's got a job. So maybe he's tired. He's got kids. I think he's actually like involved in with his kids. I'm a parent. I work full time. It's exhausting, but you get a lot of this
sure.
like, well, what does he mean by that? And like it's not all. There's
You don't think that's
nothing.
transformative?
No. And as far as entertaining, I find Bob to be a fucking A+ every day of the week for me. I know he can be really fucking boring. His one stream is always boring as shit, but it's the one that has the best content, I guess, from him. But clearly, I find it's so weird because I find him to be entertaining, and I give him an A+ for entertainment, but his intelligence is an F, which I think is actually why his entertainment is an A.
Well, I agree. And like my note that I wrote down is comedic, but not intentionally.
Correct.
They are comedic reaction videos, but it's like, it's really lol cow.
Once again, whoever hasn't seen it, go watch his response to Rags. His response, at least a year later.
The latest one, just from last week.
You know what my favorite part about it is too? Is that in the beginning, he's like, well, I made a promise to everyone and to myself that I would not ever talk about Rags again until he agreed to come on. So he hasn't. So I'll talk about him again now. It's like, oh.
Because my promise is worth nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, he said, well, maybe I'll do this again.
Yeah, another thing.
Yeah, Bob. Was there anything else that you had
on
Bob?
That's it.
All right. Well, my next one. So again, sadly, that means that, like if you were to put a number score next to CP, Dane, and Bob, they all now have 198 out of a possible 300. So they are all like very close in mine. It is kind of, different shades of mauve, if you will. But yeah, they're very close. So yeah, next would be DJ Era Eric. So again, with him, I'm also giving D pretty much across the board with a D+, a D-, and a C-. So he gets slightly higher. So yeah, he just barely beats out the other members. Still an actual member of the initiative here. But yeah, for his content, I'll give it a D+. There aren't many mukbangs that I actually finish, but I did finish his Melanie Mac one, and it was one of those kind of train wreck things that was like really hard to look away. So I don't know, some of his content has captured my imagination. It has struck my I don't know what you want to call it. It has grabbed my attention, and I could not look away.
Yeah.
So same kind of thing with the MSK video that he had. It's intentionally inflammatory. There were a lot of really shitty claims, and it actually made me respond to it. So it was somewhat captivating content. So I'll give him a D+ for that. His overall entertainment value, again, if you do watch that mukbang, he's not adding much to it. A lot of it is just him shoveling food into his face and then going like, and talking with his mouth full. But he's not saying much. He's just saying like, yeah, right, and that's because you're a bigot. Same thing with the MSK thing. He doesn't understand what the actual argument is, so he just goes off in these kind of random directions that just don't really make sense. To me, that's not very entertaining. So that really gets like a D- for me. His intelligence, though, he's been extremely weaselly, especially with the way that he wanted to have the conversation with you and everything about that. And the fact that he keeps saying like, no, I took accountability for it. I apologized. He isn't unintelligent. He isn't unaware like these other guys. I think he is actually aware. He's just a liar. And he's not very good at it. So I give him slightly higher than the others. I'll give him a C-. So that overall gets him 6 out of 10 for me. So where does that put you, sir? For
All right. So for my fucking best friend, DJ Eric.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. So his content, I'm giving him an F because he doesn't actually have content. He just has, like fake outrage. It's not content. It's just
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like it's just bullshit. Like it's just the problem you have with gay people. Nope, nobody said gay. You don't like gay. It's all the same fucking. You don't like this character because no, maybe the character was written. You don't get. It's just constant like, he's tender, so he gets an F for that. As far as his entertainment, again, same reason he's getting a D. He just sucks the fucking life out of me. There's no time where I watch him and I'm like, I'm gonna pull anything of value, even if it's like, this is gonna be funny. Like occasionally it's funny when he's just being like ridiculous, but for the most part, it's like it's not even like I can't even get a lull out of him because he's just fucking gross. And his intelligence, I agree. I agree, is just a smidge above the rest of these fellas, and it's only because he's conniving. He's a conniving little cunt.
Yeah,
and you know he's tricky. He thinks he's tricky. I mean, maybe to those guys, or maybe they just blow smoke up his ass. I don't know. You know, but you can see he's like thinking of ways like, oh wait, if I admit this, I'm gonna look like a fucking asshole, so I better never admit it.
Yeah, and that's why he's twisted a bunch of things. I completely agree, and that's why he again twisted that whole like everyone on there is a coward too. No, I called MSK a coward. It's like no, like it's literally out there. The receipts are there. Like I don't know. You can tell the lies. He actually understands why the position would be wrong, and that's why he's lying. But you're right. He's just very conniving. Sorry, there were a couple of notes that I wrote here that I totally forgot to include in my thing. So again, for like the overall entertainment and intelligence, you know, he doesn't have a personality. He just has his sexuality, which I think really, you know, he comes off like a trope. Like he doesn't come off like anything unique. It's like, wow, you're a fucking stereotype.
It's like a parody.
Dude, come on. Yeah. And then for the entertainment, he does seem to be outraged at everything. You know, outrage does sell, but there's no actual points to his accusations. And again, he's very cowardly. So overall, you know, I put him a smidge above the others as an actual member of the initiative. So next, that would bring me to adjacent, Fandom Initiative adjacent, Pillar of Garbage. Now, Pillar of Garbage seems to be a step up from all the others for me personally. I think this dude is lying, but I think his content is entertainment and is, you know, catchy. So that's why, above all, he would be a passing grade for me, where these other guys aren't quite passing. But yeah, I've really disagreed with his content. I think his video on the drinker was just completely intentionally misunderstanding what he's saying and trying to essentially knock down straw man arguments instead of actually dealing with what he's saying. But it got a ton of views and it was pretty compelling. Same thing with sorry, I think it was another drinker video actually. The oh no, I'm blanking on the name of the glass onion, that video. Again, I don't think he was giving him as much charity as one should. It was pretty entertaining. The narrative that he painted was pretty good. So I don't know. Overall, I'd give the content like a C-. While I think it is a bunch of lies and I think he's intentionally misunderstanding people, I think it's somewhat compelling. So it would be a pass on the content for me. The entertainment, I think it could be a lot more entertaining. Perhaps that's some of the dry Britishness. I don't know. And then his intelligence, you know, he is a lot more intelligent than all the others. I think that's why he is still just Fandom Initiative adjacent and not actually a member of it. So in my notes, I just said smart but devious. He knows what he's doing. He's flirted, but not actually joined the initiative. And he does target bigger creators like Drinker. So overall, for me, he would get 5 out of 10 from the initiative. 5th place, if you will. What about you, sir? Any thoughts on Pillar of Garbage?
This is the guy with the English accent?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, not Ryan, not Nothing But Media. Not
right.
You know, he's gray. Yeah. But he's a British creator. Yeah, not that guy.
No, I don't know anything about him. I know zero about him, but I do know this. Stupid English people sometimes sound smarter.
I think he might have gotten like the extra plus from just the accent alone. You know, it's not Australian, you know, so he's got that going for him.
Right.
But all right, then in that case, moving on. So at 4th, 4 out of 10, I actually have GM Morgan. So, you know, their content, they actually don't have any on their channel. They're not really anything except for a co-host on, you know, Dane's thing, the comic one. But when they are on there, you know, it's slightly better than Dane. So I would give a plus. The entertainment value, you know, I've seen some decently entertaining things from Morgan. I think they've brought some ideas to the table that I haven't expected before. So to me, that is somewhat entertaining as it's new. I have here in my notes, tells Dane he's ableist a lot. That seems pretty smart. You know, they can actually recognize what Dane is doing wrong and kind of calls him on it. However, they do use the chud slur a lot themselves. And, you know, we're trying to take that back. but still, come on. In chat is usually pretty reasonable. They do have the ability to listen, which is more than I can say for most of the initiative. And then they are okay with Dane's hate, which is, again, another minus in the intelligence. So overall, the entertainment, I think they add more to the streams. I do enjoy Dane's streams more when it's Morgan instead of when it's just him. So I'd give it C+. And then, for intelligence, again, I think they're more intelligent than Dane, but they're using that to justify his bad behavior. So that definitely knocks them down. So overall, fandom adjacent, I would give them rank 4th out of 10 possible for the initiative. Any thoughts on Morgan, sir?
Oh, I have thoughts on Morgan. Well, first off, I mean, my first initial reaction is to give straight A's for this sweet slice of ass, Morgan.
Are you just ranking off of beauty, sir?
I'm ranking
this is more than a beauty
strictly
pageant.
Sexual attraction. But if I have to be fair,
I know it's hard to get away from strictly sexual.
You have no idea.
You have some eye candy like this on screen. I get it. I understand that you may be hard, but
you get it.
It's
they'll get it.
I think she'll get it.
They'll get it.
Yeah, they'll get it.
But for content, I put not applicable. For entertainment,
fair enough.
I do find Morgan to be entertaining, but only because I'm like, what? Like, really? What are you talking about? But so for entertainment, I ranked Morgan as fat, and so an overall intelligence,
pretty hot and tempting entertainment. I got you.
Yes,
yeah.
For overall intelligence, I gave Morgan a C for cunty, because you have to be a little bit witty to be cunty, and they is cunty.
It is better than the other members of the initiative.
Correct.
I could agree with you. Also catty seems like it would have been acceptable, but
overall,
it kind of comes with the territory.
Overall rank is smell. Smells rank.
I can see that. I do think they probably would smell rank.
Right. Like shit and Dale tilapia.
Very specific.
So
number 3 for me. Again, we're going fandom adjacent, initiative adjacent. So this would be the guy who recognized, that Gray Poupet may just be a name I'm using. So he is kind of one of the smarter members of the fandom initiative. We haven't seen this guy on Dane's channel for quite some time. We do hope to see him back. It's our buddy Ryan, Nothing But Media.
Is this the one? Ryan.
Yes.
Skyver.
It's that guy. His wall is grey.
Perhaps they work for the Skyver.
Yeah. The Skyver. Yes. So Ryan from Nothing But Media. Again, he can recognize patterns, and he seems to actually recognize them. So for me, he's a little bit more intelligent than the others. He does have the best voice in all of the initiative. So I've got to give him, for entertainment and content, a little bit higher of a value. So he stays out of everything for the most part. So again, that would be higher rank and intelligence for me. His content is okay, but he chooses some, and this is subjective, I'm sure, but some kind of boring content for me. He likes to cover a lot of older shows and everything. He's a Peter Falk fan, and he's kind of going through a lot of his old stuff. It's not the most entertaining of content, but still, I think it's of higher grade than a lot of the others. So entertainment went a little bit low, but content value higher. So to me, I'm giving a C in content, a D in entertainment, and overall B in intelligence. So that ranks him 3rd highest in the fandom initiative, even though he's only adjacent. So congratulations, and I hope maybe you'll choose some more contemporary content than Columbo, but your content is not bad. I just
made for somebody.
I don't have a lot of interest in Columbo. Yeah, for sure. Do you have any thoughts on Ryan?
Honestly,
Mr. Nothing But Media.
I'm pretty close in the rankings that you have here. I don't know enough about Ryan to really comment on anything he has to say. Only thing I know is that I love his.
But on just like the one or
voice.
two streams that you've seen on him, you got the Skyver, then there's also the kind of the meme of figuring out the pattern that maybe Gray Poupet is not my real God-given name.
Yeah, like he almost seems like there's a certain innocence that comes along with stupidity, and like I get that from him. You know, he's like, you know, perhaps that this is his name is Gray because his balls are gray. You know, like there's like it's like, oh, I like this rock because it's my friend. You know, like he's just
Yeah, again, like you kind of mentioned with the accent, perhaps that does make it
you.
seem a little bit more
It tricks
intelligent, but I like it. You
Yeah,
know,
me too.
I don't think I can look at the Skyver the
Yeah.
same way without kind of
The
thinking of his
Skyver
voice.
is coming.
So for me, he gets, you know, 3rd out of a possible 10. So, sorry, did you have any more thoughts on Ryan, or should I move
Moving
on?
on.
Cool. So number 2 for me is an actual member. It is
Oh.
Turf Nation.
Oh, you
Yeah,
misspelled
so
it. It's
while
it's T-E-R-F. We got to fix that for next time.
Oh,
He likes
but he's
that.
the founder of actual fandom, apparently. That's
Does
true.
he?
He likes to be a trans uniting radical feminist.
Oh,
I don't know. So what I have for my notes is he's got the 2nd best voice in the initiative. You know, he's got some dulcet tones. So you know, he's got that going for him. He doesn't have the shrill bobness to his voice, or you know, the over the topness of either Dane or Eric when they get freaked out. Instead, he plays it cool. He doesn't seem to get too irate or over the top. He seems to have control over himself. So, you know, that kind of leads a little bit more towards more intelligent in my book. He can control himself. He usually leaves before Dane goes off, which also is a sign of intelligence for me.
yeah.
He's young, but he's pretty articulate. You know, I would think at his age, I would have sounded like a bumbling moron. He actually handles himself pretty well. So, very very articulate.
Autistic.
And he's able to listen. Yes, he might be artistic. He's not self-diagnosed autistic.
Correct.
But you know, he's got that going for him. But yeah, no, he seems very articulate, and he seems like he has the ability to listen to others sometimes.
Yeah.
I have seen him, you know, completely misunderstand when he sat through when they were trashing us.
Right.
He conflated us with MSK, with that guy who sent the death threats. I don't know. I don't think that was his best showing. If that was my only introduction to him, like, yeah, I would rank his intelligence much lower. His actual content, from what I've seen, it's somewhat compelling. While I disagree with it, I think he puts it together quite well. He also goes after, you know, like Critical Drinker and a bunch of those other ones, but he doesn't seem to be as shitty with the way that he's presenting it as, say, like Dane or someone. So I don't know. His overall content, it's like a C- to me. Again, he doesn't go off the handle. He seems relatively, you know, kind of like the straight man to play off of. And I think he does that pretty well. So, you know, probably an overall like C average from me is what he'd get. But definitely of the actual initiative, he is the most intelligent. So to me, he gets a B for their overall ranking. You know, he comes in number 2 out of 10 out of all of the Fandom Initiative. So, way to go, Turf. You got any thoughts on the young Turf?
Yes. So I think Turf's actually a smart kid. I do think that he, I rank him like at least a B on intelligence for boy pussy, but he's smart. He is a smart kid, and maybe it's because he's like, what is he, fucking Danish or something? Oh,
I think so.
yeah.
I think he's a Dane.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe it's like a cultural thing.
Unfortunately, they got 2 of those.
I don't know. Yeah, too many Danes. But he I don't remember exactly what it was about, but one of the first times I listened to him, he was talking about the drinker. And it was, of course, on like the whole, like, you know, getting pissed about females and, you know, strong female character. And I don't remember what the point was, but I was so set in my head, like, this kid's a fucking moron. And he changed my mind. Not on the overall feelings about the drinker, but just this particular one subject. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, why can this kid, who's younger than everybody on the initiative, put something together where it makes sense and there's a valid reason for his argument and no one else can?
For sure.
So he definitely ranks high in intelligence. Again, it might be a cultural thing. I don't know. He's a fucking weird kid. Like, he looks like he's anemic. He's always like zoned in and out. I don't know if it's like the air. I don't know. But as far as his entertainment, I have to give him an F because I find him really boring. I find him extremely boring. Like on his channel, I know it's his own thing, but I've tried a few. Like when he hit 10,000, I was like, all right, 10,000. Like, this kid's got to know something. Let me listen. And I was just like, oh, he's just so fucking like. Maybe he appeals to the younger generation more because it's that like monotone, like staring at his, like not even looking at the, I don't know, like looking at the camera or towards the camera. But I do give him a little bit extra for entertainment, because maybe bump him up to an F+, because I find it so funny that he just like doesn't pay attention for full initiative streams. Like he'll just be there like,
yeah.
And then all of a sudden he'll
Well,
be
I think that's kind of why he ranks a little bit higher for me. It's
he
the
doesn't
same thing.
talk.
Like, yeah, like he's like, oh, this is bullshit. I'm just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is smarter than listening to some of the shit sometimes. But
and then all of a sudden he'll
fair
just
enough.
come in with that beautiful voice of his.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that's okay. And then
was there anything
content.
else that you wanted to say about her?
Content that again.
Oh, sorry,
I kind of
content.
touched content again. It was D for Dick.
Fair enough. Or Danish, but
D for Dane. D for Danish.
Okay, well then that brings me to who I think is the overall top member of the
I'm
initiative.
excited for this.
And this might be a controversial poll because they aren't official as of yet, but they did kind of tease it on like their last stream that perhaps they'd become a full-fledged member. So my number one is actually Gordy, the soon-to-be liberated cat. Again, right now, Fandom Initiative adjacent, but wow, like these scores, intelligence. So I give him top scores. I would go A+, but I don't know. That might be unfair to the others. We don't want to set that curve too high between the top and the bottom. So I'll go with intelligence A. Definitely the smartest of the group.
Yes.
Entertainment A. I always love seeing this dude. Like, God, look at how charismatic that guy is.
Beautiful.
He's just enjoying his best life there, despite the fact that he's being tortured and he's living in a horrible situation. But you know what? You can learn to grow accustomed to it. And I love the fact that he still has that fighting will. I mean, his tail may be down, but it's okay,
But his
buddy.
spirits are
It's
up.
going to be okay. Yes. And that's why, to me, he is always entertaining. And then the content. So granted, I haven't seen much content, but they are some of my favorite tweets that, Dane has kind of made accusations and lobbed our way. They did include Gordy, which, that is awesome. And then I just happened to see that there was this one video that Dane posted not too long ago that was, Dane attempting to play guitar, and then Gordy was having none of it, just like attacked his fucking hand.
Yeah.
That was compelling content, and it made me want more Gordy.
Yeah.
So what little content there is, it's great, but I got to not give him an A because he is not consistent with putting out his own content. Granted, he does seem to be held against his will, so I don't want to hold that against him too much. The content that he has is great. Did you have any overall thoughts on Gordy?
Oh, yeah. So Gordy for me, I'm not even going to go through a ranking. Straight A's across the board for me, for Gordy. A+ is all the way. It's fucking amazing member. I'm going to kidnap, liberate. I'm going to adopt. I'm going to adopt Gordy when he eventually
provide a better life.
Yes. When he murders, I can't even say it. When he gets out of there in a way that may not work out for everybody else. See, what some people don't know is that in this picture that Gordy was in the cat tree, where he's looking on over there, people don't realize there's a window there. This was a suicide attempt. It's what initially got me into the idea of getting him rescued and into some place safe where he can get the treatment he needs. He doesn't have to live like this. And I'm getting a little choked up. We're gonna have to move on. I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming for you, Gordy.
Gordy, hang in there, buddy. We believe in you.
Coming for you,
Just hang in
Gordy.
there. We love you, buddy. Okay. Well, we have one final letter from the mailbag.
Oh.
It's hey ho there, Patrick and lesbian Shudstard. With all the gay jokes aimed at you two gents, in actuality, can you guys appreciate male beauty? If so, who do you find handsome? And I included a clip signed "No Homo." Wow, that is interesting. Yes, I can definitely appreciate male beauty. Like when I was a kid, it was always like the pinnacle was like Brad Pitt from Fight Club, something like that. Like, I wish I could get his physique. He looks amazing. And then when I kind of got more into fitness, it's like, holy shit, like his physique isn't that great. And I don't know. There's so many male aesthetics that you could go off of. I got pretty into like, I don't know. I was never a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I got pretty into lifting and, just looking at what some of these guys can do and like how big their muscles can get. It's like, God damn, I wish I had, like a Predator where you got the Dutch and Dillon handshake, like that amazing one. It's like, I wish I had biceps that look like that. So I don't know. Perhaps my view of male aesthetic beauty has definitely changed with kind of my own tastes and what I would like my body to be. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool to look like Arnold, but you know, I don't think that's what most women would want or anything like that. So I don't know. Probably some in between. I don't know. Probably like Alexander Skarsgård or whatever. That would be amazing. Peak male beauty. I don't know. That dude's awesome. I think I'm saying the right one. The dude from like the Norseman and whatever. I don't know. For me, I think that dude's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah. And no homo. You know, nothing gay about that. I think it's just fine to, you know, even like those bodybuilding contests, you know, like it's dudes essentially in like a G-string who are all painted up. I think it's fine to admire them and what they have put their bodies through. But what about you, sir? Do you find the male aesthetic beautiful at all?
Well, I mean, first off, I'd like to say I think this is a very interesting way of you coming out of the closet. And I appreciate that.
Hey,
I couldn't have my
those lesbian chudstered.
I couldn't have
my
my questions with DJ the gay guy, so maybe I can have them with Gray the lesbian.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
I've always been able
I'm secure.
to.
I can call you beautiful. I can appreciate aesthetic beauty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always been able to appreciate beauty in all people. Obviously, there's some men out there that are just good looking motherfuckers. You know it. They walk into like Ryan Reynolds. Guy walks into a room, people know it. You know, it's got nothing to do with really like. I mean, he's got a great body and all that.
Hey, don't you often get compared to Ryan Reynolds? I think I remember not too long back somebody on Twitter comparing you to Ryan Reynolds.
They said that I look.
That's your ideal male.
Yeah, myself
is somebody that you get compared to.
He's like, they called me
Liberace,
a washed up drunk Ryan Reynolds. I was like, I'll take it. Fucking take it.
Yeah, I would take that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never could have said I looked like Ryan Reynolds' dick. I would have been like, fine. But yeah, no, I mean, I've always I've been blessed with a great metabolism, but I've never been like fit, not since my 20s anyway. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of appreciate the beauty in everything, but I don't know what I could say would be like an ideal version of that. But like, you know, it changes. You look at generationally, like what's like, again, like that actor I was talking about earlier, that Targaryen. Everybody thinks he's really good looking. But
yeah, that guy, everyone's favorite.
Yeah, Targaryen. He would have been like a perfectly ideal candidate in like the 50s. You know what I mean? Like look at like the major baseball players, like, you know, the turn of the century and like how men presented themselves then. The ideal of good looking men was far off from what it is now. But somehow we all just know it's like a set point in everybody's brain. I don't care if you're straight, gay, or anything in between. Like, you know, when somebody walks in the room, they're fucking good looking. And you immediately hate them. Like your life's easier than mine.
I mean, the pretty boy.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Fucking pretty boys.
Yeah. No, I've definitely. I know what you mean, but
those
like,
pretty boys like Dane.
I don't think.
That was lady boy. He's a lady's boy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's the
pretty hair,
term.
right? That's what they call guys with pretty hair, lady boys.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's all that means.
Yeah.
That's definitely the way that we're using it. You know. But yeah, it looks like No Homo included a clip. So let's take a little look.
Some glutes, yeah. I mean, I'm not gay, but I'd be gay for dick.
Oh, Dane.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's been a great one.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
All right, man.